The college football experience week 0 preview and picks episode and our win total locks. It's brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast and the Win Bet. Yes, bet $100 at WinBet and get $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by us. Yes. You better believe that the college football experience. Get ready for the college football season by checking out all 131 college football team previews. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB.
This is Brian Bosworth, aka The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Win totals, locks, and week 0 picks. I can't wait. We are home. All right, we are finally home. If you're wondering who the hell this is, my name is Colby, Swing It Database Dant, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
I am healthy. You better believe that, because around football season, look, I might get the flu sometimes, might get sick. Never. I'm undefeated in football season. All right. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for Farmer JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, PattyC in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Well,
it's easy to see a tide turn.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you were undefeated against COVID during football season, weren't you?
COVID doesn't hit me in football season.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
It quakes in its little boots.
It tried.
Yeah.
And boom, I just fucking destroyed it. All right.
Crackback block on
yes.
COVID.
Yes. COVID's got CTE, baby. All right. We are joined by third man in the booth, the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free lock giving, Farmer Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. Love this episode, guys. Great time of the year. We got the chat live. Let's do this.
Oh yeah. This is like 4 months of just grind.
This is
culminating here.
That's what I'm saying. And now we're, folks, I know, I don't want to touch too much base on this, but tomorrow you do have NAIA football on. Reinhardt, number 9 in the country, is at Faulkner. You also have Georgetown at Kentucky Christian, Valley City State at Jamestown, Dakota Wesleyan at Dakota State, and Clark at Evangel.
All be
watch out for
Jamestown.
Watch out for Jamestown.
What is that? John Rolfe and
John Smith. John Smith is just going to come in kicking ass. Look, I'm very excited. Obviously, we got just a couple days till kickoff on all. You'll get FBS FCS games. Just a ton of nice matchups. We're going to pick all those. If you're watching on YouTube, you will hear this here. If not, check out the other episode of the podcast, because we're going to break this up in 2. But it will be one on YouTube. Subscribe, youtube.com/the college experience. And also remember, subscribe to the college football experience wherever you listen to podcasts at, and the college basketball experience, because we've already started to do previews over there. And before we get into our win totals, which is the first thing we're going to do, shout out to all the people in the chat. Nagels Bagels, legendary guy, great guy there. GBO Farms.
Golf expert, I believe. If you like betting on golf, you better get out there and follow Nagels Bagels.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
All right. If not, it's a sand trap for you.
Although I hear he is dialed into football these days too.
He is dialed in, and we've been in communications. All right, we've been on the internets,
on the webs.
Right? But look, I got to get to a tiny bit of news before we get into all of our locks. Just a lot of starting quarterbacks named. I'm not going to go through every fucking like Keaton Slovis starter at Pitt. Okay, we don't need to break that down. But I did think it was interesting that Sonny Dykes said he was going to play all three quarterbacks against Colorado. Are you concerned? Are you concerned a little bit there?
Yes, I definitely would be.
That is interesting, right?
Tyler's a week 1 game, not a week 0 game. But,
but still,
maybe take the points.
Maybe he's just saying that to keep off.
Is it possible to start 3 quarterbacks?
No. But he's just saying he's going to play all 3. UAB ended up starting Dylan Hopkins. That was announced. I know he was in battle with Jacob Zeno. They say Zeno's going to play too. Tyler Shuck won the job at Texas Tech.
Very nice.
Drake May won the job at North Carolina. This was an interesting one here. Was that Marshall running back Rasheen Ali has left the team, and we don't know until when. Personal matter, but that's concerning. So maybe,
that's
hopefully
massive.
you don't have the over on Marshall
because their whole offense just left. By the way, Tyler Shuck, Lance Arbor, is that a pretty good comparison? That West Texas kind of football.
I like it.
Is his knee at risk here? Knock on wood for old Tyler Shuck's knee.
Oh man. All right. Well, look, that's all. I mean, anything else you guys want to talk about before we dive into locks?
Well, Tennessee GBO Farms. What's up, man? He did mention that Lynn J. Dixon, who I believe that was a Clemson transfer, right?
West Virginia, Clemson, Tennessee. He's been on every school in the country. He's like
keep track of.
He's like Jared Deggy. Deggy lost the starting job at Western Kentucky. He transfers down to Troy. He was with West Virginia last year, and a couple years ago he started for Bowling Green. What the hell? College football in 2022. Buckle up, people.
That's right.
All right. Here we go, folks. Let's just hop into locks, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give us.
How are we going to do this?
We're going to start off. We're going to go conference by conference, but first you're going to start off with.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Potentially. What was my worst lock last year? Nebraska. Sorry. I thought I was there.
Happens.
We still had a great track record, hit at 71%, a little over 71%. So that's why you subscribe to the College Football Experience. So let's just do this. All right. All right. NC Nick, do you have anyone in the ACC locked up?
All right. So first, I'm sorry if I'm long-winded here. I thought getting to like a top 10 was extremely hard because I probably placed, I don't know, like 25, college football futures, team win totals. So I got a top 10 here, and then maybe, I'll just sprinkle in if I got any, fringe locks or bonus locks or whatever you want to call them. So we're starting with the Atlantic Coast Conference, huh? Nobody from the ACC made my top 10.
Well, it doesn't have to be top 10. If it's an honorable lock and you feel comfortable, once you lock it up, it's locked.
Well, let's go. Right? Let's go. Top 10 per conference, and then we'll do bonus locks in the same conference. Because let's really what we feel strongest about first. How about that?
All right. Well, PattyC, do you have an ACC play that you feel 2 plays in the ACC? Let's go. What are you doing?
Come on, buddy. We talked about this recently. Wake Forest has dropped to 6.5.
Yeah. And there's a 6 out there too. But I mean, yes.
Go get that one.
I'm on board. I am on board. This is a double lock here. Sam Hartman is out. We don't know until when. I trust Dave Clawson. We've seen it. We've seen it when it went from the kid that transferred to Georgia. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Jamie Newman.
Jamie Newman. Right. We saw it when they lost Ken Walker to Beal Smith. Right. We saw it when Sage Surratt opted out, and all of a sudden the next man came up, Donovan Green.
How about Kenneth Walker being their second leading rusher and then going and getting in the Heisman ceremony on another team? That's the kind of talent Wake Forest has hidden on that roster.
This is a program. It's not a player.
Yes.
There you go.
And I heard Dave Clawson talk recently. I know we were previewing Wake Forest. Go listen to that episode. But he was talking about the Hartman injury, but someone asked him another question. He was like, "Hey, I got a 7th-year left tackle, a 6-year guard, a 6-year guard on the other side." He was like, "This is our best team. We're going to be a winning team with or without Sam Hartman."
Dropping it from 8.5 to 6.5 is an overreaction. I agree.
Massive.
You didn't lock it up, Nick, though, huh?
I did not.
Oh, he's ACC Nick.
Just couldn't get it done. Hartman.
I'm all over that lock. It is one of my locks. That's unity right there. So, all right.
What about you? I got another ACC.
I got another ACC lock.
Why don't you fire one off?
Well, it has to do with this right here. All right, it has to do with this right here.
I know where he's going.
You do know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
Wait, ACC or AAC?
I am locking up the under on NC State. I feel very good about the under in NC State, and I think if people, I know everyone else is on NC State. I don't believe it. I don't believe last year they were as good as their record. Yes, they have a talented football team coming back, but I also know it's NC State. And when I look at the road spots, it's not last year. Last year, not only did you catch 3 backup quarterbacks, you also played in Chestnut Hill and got a win at Miami. No one shows up to those games. It's like going to UCLA, right? So this year it's a little bit different. You start out going to Greenville, where that place is gonna fucking burn down. All right, I guarantee you. I've already been, I follow like 300 different ECU pages on Twitter, and I'm telling you, that is gonna be a hornet's nest. And then
this is a different team than it was a few years ago.
Yes. And then you're at Clemson. Last year, you needed overtime to beat them in Raleigh. You're not going to win at Clemson this year.
That's an L.
You go to the Dome in Syracuse. Now I know you might laugh at that. Syracuse has a bye week coming into it, and I think Syracuse might be a little bit better after we dove into the Robert and I thing than we think. That Dome is a tricky spot to go up to. Then your other 2 away games are back-to-back away at Louisville and at North Carolina. I wouldn't be surprised if they went winless on the road.
Not to mention not so many easy home games. Tech, Wake, BC.
Yeah, Wake's owned them lately.
Yeah.
BC's capable of beating them. Virginia Tech's capable of beating them. I'm going to go ahead and say Texas Tech is capable of beating them with Zach Kitley now.
Sure.
I am on the under with NC State, and I feel pretty damn good about it.
What's that number again?
8.5.
8.5.
I don't know. I say be careful here. Look, when we did the ACC preview and we did the NC State preview, I sided with the under, but I damn sure did not feel great about it. This is definitely not one of my locks, even though I still sided with you.
That's because he lives in Raleigh.
Yeah.
His neighbor, he doesn't want to get his house egged.
It took everything Nick had in him just to side with you, but he's not locking against his boys.
No.
GBO Farms in the chat saying, does this rely on them beating ECU? No, even if they were to beat ECU, I feel good about these losses, right? I feel good that at Clemson, I feel very good about that being a loss. I think Wake Forest has won 4 of 5 against them, and I think Hartman will probably be back by November 5th. I think Louisville can beat them. I think North Carolina can beat them. I think North Carolina, you're going to see that talent come up. I like the Gene Chizik hire, and potentially Syracuse. Someone else can bite them. It's NC State. All right, NC State is not some juggernaut that everyone wants to crown them. All right, this team had what were their losses last year? They lost to Miami, who was 7-5. That could happen. They weren't a great team. They weren't setting the world on fire.
By 1 point.
Still.
What's surprising
Wake
to me?
Forest by 3 points.
Still beat North Carolina by 4.
They lost a game to Mississippi State by 10, I believe.
14. Yeah.
A little deceiving because I think Mississippi State, they got an interception return for a touchdown and return the opening kick for a touchdown.
Yes. They beat 4-win Louisiana Tech by 7. Bring it on. Let's go.
Guys, look who's on the chat here.
Who do we got?
Oh, what's up?
Our guy.
Shout out to Brett Raker.
Oh, shit.
Wolfpack, get out of here.
There we go. Finally, somebody with some sense.
All right, PattyC, what's your other ACC play?
I'm going to pepper in a little personal flavor of my own here. We are going to Charlottesville. Wahoo! This team is going to start 7-0, and the number is 7.5. And then they have 4 straight home games. Granted, some pretty tough teams and then a road trip to Tech.
Best schedule in college football.
Best schedule in college football, 7-0, and then they get one more done in the next 5. And
I'll be honest,
cash that bad boy.
It was on my list to consider.
Yeah.
I just can't lock up a team that lost every offensive lineman.
Touche.
I can't do that.
Touche.
You know, like I was right there. Like, dude, they're gone. How do they not win 7? Like, in my opinion, Elliott's got to be a bad coach to not win 7.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know, Nick. What'd you make of UVA?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like UVA that much this year, but that schedule is just so easy, especially on the front end. So, you know, maybe even if the O-line is struggling early, it allows them time to come together. So you know, the second half of the schedule, last 5 games, pretty tough. By then, you know, the offense is more used to the coaching staff and the new philosophy. So the schedule just breaks their way. I'll side with you on the over, but yeah, they lost too much. And even though, you know, I'm a big Brennan Armstrong guy, I didn't lock it up just because they had a lot of question marks on that roster.
Can I give away a bonus one in the ACC, or I got to come back to this?
Of course, because I got about 3 bonus ones.
A bonus one for me that did not make my top 10, but I'm feeling stronger about it as the day goes on, is Georgia Tech under 3.5 wins. I feel this line went up a half game. There's a high chance Jeff Collins is fired by the bye week. The schedule's insane. They get Clemson every year.
God, that's got to be tough for a Georgia Tech fan to hear. Locking the under of 3.5.
Dude, show me the 4 wins. Find me 4 wins on Georgia Tech's schedule.
Let me pull this up.
It's Western Carolina is 1. I don't even know that you can say Duke is 1. They won by 4 last year.
Kind of a 50-50 spot, but since it's at home, you got to give that one to Georgia Tech, I think.
I don't understand the love for the Yellow Jackets either. I'm with you.
But that's 2. And you're right. Every other game.
They need 2 more.
They could knock off UVA at home.
They could
beat Virginia Tech on the road potentially.
No, not that team. And that's what I'm saying. Collins is going to be fired by then, I think. So I think the team will quit the back end of that schedule. So I like Georgia Tech under 3.5 wins as a bonus lock. Didn't make my top 10, but I had to jot it down, and I do feel good about it.
Well, so I got a trio of other ACC unders that I'm feeling pretty good about. Bonus locks for me. I think you guys might disagree with a couple of them, and we'll start off with that Syracuse under 5. I don't see them getting to 6-6 in a bowl game. What have they done lately to make me believe that their one-dimensional offense, even with a new coordinator, can start winning that many games? I'm definitely on the under with the orange.
Stop pandering to Nagel's Bagels over there.
And by the way, this number is available. You can find that at 4.5 as well. But
talk to me about their wins. Wagner and UConn.
I think they could start out 4-1.
Oh, you got them beating Louisville, Purdue.
No. I think Louisville is a 50-50 game, but I favor Louisville. I got them winning at UConn. I wouldn't shock me if they beat Purdue, right?
It would shock me. I had Purdue doing big things, if you recall our Big Ten preview.
Well, then Virginia, like Robert and I's, he knows Brennan Armstrong better than anyone, I would say. So you're playing in the dome against Virginia. I almost favor Syracuse in that
Tucker.
game. I think that's like a 50-50 game.
Dude, and then it gets really tough once you start talking about NC State at Clemson, Notre Dame at Pitt, Florida State. I mean,
they could beat Florida State and NC State in the dome.
Cap it off with back-to-back road games at Wake, at DC. What has Syracuse done to make you believe they can get to 5?
Robert and I and Sean Tucker, and they brought in the kid from New Mexico State, and I think mixing them with Garrett Schrader, you have 3 dynamic running attacks that he gets so creative with the way he uses his offenses. I think they're the most interesting team in the ACC for me this year. I want to watch them. I want to watch them more than any team because I think
they might not pass the ball.
Well, it's the way they play. I mean, look what he did with Brennan Armstrong. He was a safety. He was from Ohio in high school, played safety in high school. Converted him.
He's going to turn Schrader into Joe Montana.
Yes, and look what he did. Taysom Hill at BYU. I mean, this is going to be fun. It is going to be fun, man.
I'm not sure if I'm buying.
I didn't lock it. It's
I feel
not
like
a lock.
I would maybe lean under on that too, because that is a little bit of a tough schedule. Only 2 really games they should probably be favored in. That's UConn and Wagner.
Right.
So what are you doing then? What's your other ones?
How about UNC under 7.5?
No,
I'm not buying that either. They got injuries. Their top running back is gone. This Drake May guy has hardly gotten any snaps. I don't know about the offense, and the defense has been a question mark ever since Mac Brown arrived there. Yes, they have a new coordinator. That takes time. I'm on the under with UNC as well.
Shade appropriately thrown. Well done, Nick.
Nagels Bagel says, "Filthy dome team. Where's your heart at, Colby? You hack. Look, I hate Syracuse's dome. I want them to cut the roof off that. But Robert and I is Robert and I think that offense is gonna be fun to watch. All right.
I got a bonus.
North Carolina.
Nick, you have one.
Yeah.
Oh wait, let's talk about that. Yeah, North Carolina.
Well, Britton Brooks out for the year. Their second leading receivers out until Halloween. I get it. But I think Chiswick is going to make that defense a lot better. And I think they're somewhere right around there.
The number's what?
7.5.
7.5. Seems high. Seems a little high with Pitt, Notre Dame at Miami on the schedule right there. That's three losses, presumably.
3 back-to-back away
at Wake
games.
and NC State on the schedule. NC State's beaten UNC surprisingly 4 of the last 6 times.
Not this year, buddy.
We'll see. But either way, that's 4.5 losses right there. That says under, or at least push right there.
You don't lose Sam Howell and win 2 more games.
We'll see, buddy.
Probably true.
We'll see.
Probably an experience.
I think Mac Brown works better. Remember his first year there, they were supposed to be terrible and they ended up making a bowl. I think you work better without the hype.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. So all right, and who's your other one, NC Nick?
Florida State under 6.5.
I'll be honest.
I'm not buying. I know some publications are high on the Seminoles. Prove it to me first. It
was on my list. It did not make it. I don't, and mainly because the number went down. It was at 7, and I think even 7. It opened at 7.5. I think if it's at 7, I'm locking it. 6.5. I don't think I can join you all the way there because I could see them just pulling off one upset that we're not thinking here, and maybe being able to accomplish that. But I like your play. It was on my list.
Last year, they lost to an FCS team in Jacksonville State. Granted, they played Notre Dame very close week 1, ended up losing in overtime. They won 5 games, but I would say only one of them was convincingly, and that was against UMass. The other ones, 3-point win at BC, 3-point win over Miami, 3-point win over Syracuse. I mean, they just scratched and clawed to 5 wins last year. And I don't completely buy Jordan Travis as an all-around quarterback yet, even if this is his 5th year in Tallahassee. So I'm not sold, and
I agree.
This has a chance to unravel quickly if Norvell is let go midseason.
That is true. That is a great point. That is a great point that I love about playing that under. Is if the schedule is harder on the front end than the back end, in my opinion, but it's still tricky. And I do think if they fire Norvell or the team quits on Norvell, those opponents on the back end are all capable of beating them. Like a game against Louisiana. Wouldn't shock me at all if Louisiana went into Tallahassee and won the week before they took on the Gators. So I'm on the under. I just don't want to lock it up at 6.5. At 7, it's a lock of mine because I think best case scenario they're a 7-5 team. So I don't know.
I mean, there are
good points by. I'm sorry to cut you off, Patty. Lane
ahead.
Elliott says Florida State lost their starting center.
Yeah, he's out for the year. He's out
Matty
for the year.
Ice 23. Yeah. I totally agree. FSU sucks. Take the under. Sorry, Patty. Go ahead.
I don't know that I agree with you guys. It's still a talented team. It's still a team that beat North Carolina.
Well, you locked them up last year. You're trying to defend them, huh?
I locked them up and what? They lost on a freaking Hail Mary.
But they also won every game by 3 points.
Okay.
Somebody tell Patty
they lost
it's not
in overtime.
1992.
They
Bobby
lost in
Bowden
overtime to the number
Ward
5 team in the country at the end of the
anymore.
year. Notre Dame 41, Florida State 38 overtime.
You realize that 6-6 Toledo.
They beat North Carolina on the road. They had Clemson on the ropes. That was a 10-3 team. They beat Miami, who is okay. They beat Boston College, who is okay, and Florida.
No Jerkovic.
I don't care. A team should be more than one player, and Florida maybe wasn't that bad talent wise.
They were getting their ass up in that game though.
And
they butted that up a little bit.
A team that had quit too.
They lost by 3 points. Okay, what I'm saying is it's still Florida State. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
Still Florida State. They haven't had a winning season in like fucking 5 years. What are you talking about?
What does that mean anymore?
Watch him win like 10.
You know,
and then you guys go.
You can tout Fordham back in the 1930s as well, when they had fucking Vince Lombardi. All right.
Colby is just enjoying this way too much. Look, I hate Florida State too. At some point they're gonna wake up.
You can't tell me that team was impressive last year.
No, they weren't, and I don't disagree. I don't think the under is a bad play. I actually took the under myself. I just don't feel confident. 6.5 Florida State should be.
Well, the fact that it went down, is tough because, like I said, it was penciled in as a lock. I think it opened at 7.5, and I was like, oh, give me this all day. There's no way this team is winning 8 games.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but all right, let's move over
real quick.
What's that?
Virginia Tech on the over. That schedule's too easy.
Oh, a lock.
That's a bonus.
I'll say this.
It's not a lock. It was on my bonus lock list though.
Well, last week I made a short list of what was going to be on my list, and I thought Virginia Tech, and then when I talked to Bud Foster, go listen to our episode Virginia Tech preview. He wasn't very
optimistic.
He was not. He said we're very thin at a lot of positions, and it made me go, huh?
Well, it's not on my official lock list. So
if there's one team I don't know what to expect, it's the Hokies this year. I'd stay away either side. I mean, sure, I could have them going over, or I could see them going over, going under. Officially, I went with the under, but I don't feel great about it.
I just think ODU home against Boston College, Wofford home against West Virginia, Georgia Tech, Duke, Liberty. That's 7 right there.
I agree when I looked at it, but then that's weird because he's still employed by the university. He said he was at practice.
He's like
Pry.
helping the team out,
dude. Him and Pry are like really close. Yeah. He hired Pry as a GA.
Maybe he's setting expectations.
Maybe
I would say be careful about chalking up at ODU and at Liberty as 2 wins.
True.
Yeah.
But we're thinking Virginia's a big threat. Virginia Tech has beaten them 17 out of the last 19 years or something.
That's true. That is true. Fair enough. All right. Well, let's switch over. Let's go to the AAC. Yes, the AAC, where Cincinnati made the 4-team invitational last year, represented themselves quite well by getting a shit ton of players drafted in the NFL draft. Guys, do we have any AAC plays? I do, and I have one that I love, and I think it might be my favorite lock. There's a couple that I like that it's hard for me to differentiate between 1, 2, and 3. UCF over 8.5 wins is an absolute lock for me. I don't think there's any way that they don't accomplish this, because even if Rice Plumlee was to get injured,
they still have Mikey Keene.
Yeah, we just saw Keene, and he's going to be better, and he played pretty damn good last year. So I am all over the over on 8.5 with UCF as one of my and John Rice Plumlee. I think this offense.
It's gonna be.
I'll be honest. I think they're going to win the AAC this year. I think they will win the conference this year, and I feel very good about that schedule. Tell me, Louisville could get them. Louisville could get them because they have enough firepower, right?
They got them last year, but I don't think it happens again. But yes,
in the bounce house this time.
Yeah. Besides that, at ECU is their only tough road game to me. The Cincinnati game obviously
is at home, though.
But they could lose all 3 of those, and you're still cashing the over.
Yeah, it's a super luck.
To me, there's only 3 games that I find like it's kind of like I would still like gun to my head. I would say UCF should be a 3 to 5 point favorite against Louisville, right? In the moon bounce.
Yeah.
At ECU, I think UCF's going to be favored, and then the Cincinnati game. I actually think when it comes around that point of the season, UCF might be favored too. Even if Cincinnati's favored, it'll be by like 2 or 3. So you're telling me, they're going to win one of those games, and then. I mean, even if they lost all 3, they win the rest. You're good. Make me a case where they lose 4.
I don't see it, man. We got 17 returning starters. You got a great 1-2 punch at the running back position with Bauer and Richardson, both over 700 yards. You got the returning receiver Ryan O'Keefe back. We mentioned Reese Plumlee. You got 132 total career starts by the offensive line. You got the 3rd ranked defense in the AAC last year, returning 8. One of the top secondaries in the country. They were tied for 6th last year in only allowing 12 touchdown passes against them, and everybody in the secondary comes back. I'm all over. I think it's a triple lock, guys. Triple lock that boy.
Triple lock?
A triple lock.
Oh my gosh!
That made the top 10
going.
for sure. One in the books. Triple lock number 1.
All right.
I think they go 12-0 in the regular season, and I got Houston beating them in the AAC championship.
Wow.
I think Cincinnati gets the shit end of the stick because Houston doesn't play either of them in the regular season, and even if Houston loses one, I think the tiebreaker would be, the first team eliminated in a head-to-head, which would be UCF beating Cincy in a head-to-head, and then Cincy would be out, which would leave only Houston and UCF, and then I think Houston gets it done there.
Nice. I got another play in the AAC. Does anyone else have another play?
I have one more too.
I'm going to take you to the home of BB King.
I got that one too.
The Memphis Tigers.
Oh man, group think, guys.
I am on Memphis under 7.5 wins. I am all over it. I don't see a path for them to be able to get there. I think. The only thing I guess you could say is they get some of their tough games at home, but to start the season, they're at an SEC team, Mississippi State. And
they're not winning it like last year. Last year they went 6-6
last year was bullshit too.
Getting a lucky win over Mississippi State.
Then the very next week they got to take on a triple option team. Sorry, that's a terrible. So you get your ass whooped by the physicality of the SEC, and I know it's still air raid, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
There's nothing air raid about the Mississippi State defense, which is legit.
Yeah. Then they got to go to Annapolis. They're going to be 0-2. I think they're probably going to be 0-2.
Let me interject one stat that is more relevant than anything. I think they lost to Temple last year. They got this team winning 8 games.
Well, then they play Houston and UCF at home. Even Tulsa, they got to go to ECU, to SMU. It's not happening.
Even at Tulane is tricky because especially it's on the second end of a back-to-back.
Yeah, even North Texas is tricky, to tell you the truth, man. Like I feel like North Texas could beat them.
They went 6-6 last year. They're not winning 2 more games in a season to go. I don't understand where this line's at under all day.
Yeah,
all 3 of us.
Yep, it's another one.
Boom,
folks. We did not coordinate on this.
Yes, we have not talked about our locks at all. Wow. Okay. Anyone else got another AAC play?
That's it for me.
That's it for me too. But I'll be honest. I have one potentially that I like, and that's
talk about
it. SMU over 7.
I like it.
SMU over 7.
8-4 last year.
I think they're gonna beat North Texas in the opener. I think they'll probably lose to Maryland. Maybe they could get TCU, but they're gonna lose at the bounce house. I could just see that I think they're talented enough to, but I'm not going to lock it up. I'm just saying it was right below Florida State. I think I like Florida State a little bit more than SMU.
I'm a Rhett Lashley believer, and I picked over also, but it is year 1, so I definitely didn't have quite enough faith to, especially when you got at Maryland, at UCF, Cincinnati on the schedule. I like the over, but not betting it myself, not locking it up.
All right, so we're done with the AAC just like that.
Just like that.
Let's move along. We have the Big 12 Conference. Every year I have a conference that like last year I felt like I loved the ACC locks. Right, I think we locked up NC State on the over last year. That's what's great. I have NC State last year on the over. This year I got them on the under. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, PattyC. But I think the Big 12 is my favorite this year. So. You know what it is. All right. You guys know what it is. So
it's easy to see a tide turn.
The Kansas Jayhawks are winning more than 2.5 games.
Oh, gosh.
This was one of my top 3 plays of the season.
Wow.
And I feel very good about it. And sign me up. Anyone? Who's coming with me?
I'm with you, actually. You have sold me.
There we go.
Dude, I think right off the bat, Tennessee Tech and Duke are wins.
You're 2-0.
They could also, they could knock off West Virginia or Houston, and you could have.
That's what I'm saying.
You could have the over wrapped up in September.
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. No. Check this out. I was thinking about this. I think West Virginia. I was doing their preview yesterday, and I was like, man, they returned their whole offensive line. Graham Harrell's going to have that. The problem's been the offensive identity. The defense has been good the whole Neil Brown era, and I was like, Graham Harrell will have that offense scoring some points. I was like, they could beat Pitt in the backyard brawl. They could win that. And then it's the first backyard brawl in like 15 years. All right. So like Morgantown would be on fire. I know the game's not in Morgantown, but
do they party? Do they party in Morgantown?
Yes. So then Kansas could walk in week 2. It's almost like Tennessee. I feel like Kansas and Tennessee are in similar spots, as in the loser or the winner, because Tennessee plays at Pitt week 2. Whoever loses that game or wins that game, I think the winner is going to lose week 2. So I think Lance Leipold might be able to pull off some magic in Morgantown week 2 if they end up pulling up the upset in the backyard brawl.
I think Colby's finally got that pronunciation down, and
unbelievable.
It's a double lock at least.
You're not going to do it.
It's a sign of great things.
I listened to last year's episode, and Nick, Pat wasn't with us, but by the end of the episode, he locked it up with us. So, one of his locks last year was because of us.
Is he playing hard to get?
Twisted his arm. Yeah, twisted his arm. You would think he would buy in last year when they almost swept Texas and Oklahoma. They were very close to sweeping the 2 best, you know
what they say,
powerful teams in college football, whatever the fuck you want to say.
True. This is a team that would still have to improve to get to 2.5. So
he didn't even have spring ball year 1.
I know. You make a lot of strong points. They played really well toward the end of the season.
Sounds like you're turning them.
Yeah, come on.
I'm not locking.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
I'm not locking that bad boy. I'm certainly not putting in my top 10, but I do agree with you that the over is probably going to hit.
All right. Anyone else got a Big 12 play?
I got one.
What do you got?
Whoop!
Horns down.
There we go.
Let's think about this, guys. This team went 5-7 last year. They have a game against Alabama. That's a loss, right? They have a neutral site game against Oklahoma. That's traditionally a loss of late for them.
So can they go?
And they have a road trip to Oklahoma State. That's probably a loss. So, are they going to run the table on the rest of their schedule with road trips to Kansas State, your boys Kansas, Texas Tech, UTSA, TCU, Baylor, Iowa State, West Virginia? Not all road trips.
And don't sleep on the fact that these are the last times these cities are going to see the Texas Longhorns. You know that? Like, I mean, they're next year. These teams are going to have to go to Austin. So, and then they're in the SEC.
Oh, these cities are going to.
So these cities are going to be on fire.
Get their pound of
you know
flesh.
what? I'll join you.
There you go.
I'll join
brother.
you. Let's go. Lock it up. You coming with me? You coming, Nick?
No. You know, they still have talent. I sided with the under. Not one of my locks. That's just on you guys.
So you really believe that they can beat every other team except, so you know, the fact they have Bama. If they didn't have Bama on the schedule, I would say, man, I would stay away. But PattyC's right.
What if Quinn Ewers is the next Johnny Football? What if? I mean, you heard
what if he's the next? What if he's the next Chris Ricks? All right.
Yeah.
Well, then you're probably in pretty good shape.
I'm just saying, 5-7. They think they're going to be 9-3 all of a sudden.
What
happened?
I'll join you on
the
that.
freshman quarterback. Is that what's
you
really?
Talked me into it.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to get on Kansas?
I'm good for now, but I appreciate
Fucking
the
coward. Any other Big 12 plays?
I got a couple bonus locks.
Me too.
I like both of them. We might have some of the same thing here. They're both sitting at 6.5. I like the over on both Kansas State and Iowa State.
Ooh,
ding, ding, ding.
Actually, Kansas State was one of my top 10. Kansas State on the over.
There we go. Let's easy. One at a time here. Let's start with K-State. Let's start with K-State and where the hell is my lock music? Come on, over 6.5.
Easy.
I think they're going to go undefeated in their out of conference schedule, right?
Well, they got South Dakota, Missouri, and Tulane all at home. That should be undefeated.
I mean, maybe Missouri or Tulane could bite them,
Worst
but I don't
case,
think
2-1, right?
Yeah. At Oklahoma, believe it or not, like I don't think that's as rough for K-State. Most of the teams, I would be like, that's terrible.
Sure.
K-State actually plays Oklahoma good. Yeah.
Especially with the coaching change, but chalked it up as a loss just for go Vegas, go chalk here.
Home to Texas Tech, I think that's a win. So right there, I got them 4-1, and that's with us saying the Oklahoma game is a flat out loss. At Iowa State's tricky. I would favor Iowa State there. But still, I think they're going to beat Oklahoma State in Manhattan this year. I think Oklahoma State's going to fall off a little bit. And I'll be honest, Not far down. I'm not going to say this is a bonus lock, but this is in the same bin as SMU. Under on Oklahoma State. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's lock it up. Bonus lock.
We're getting wild.
I'm trusting my metrics. This is the NC State.
We're going to have about 50 bonus locks for you guys.
This is the NC State angle. This is the NC State angle here. That this team was not nearly as good as their record last year, and they're fool's gold a little bit. They lose some key pieces on the defense. They lose a defensive coordinator. Give me the under on Oklahoma State at 8.5 wins.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I think Oklahoma State's going to be good again.
Let's go.
I think maybe they get to 9-3.
I got this. This is my conference, the Big 12 this year. I'm watching Big 12 Colby.
There it is.
What's that?
I think Nick, you mentioned Baylor as a bonus lock.
No, sir. Iowa State.
Iowa State. That's it.
I'm on that one too.
I'm on that one.
You're on that one too?
As a bonus lock.
Oh man, we're just.
I think tide turning. As I remember, I was raised in the desert, but tides kind of it's easy to see a tide
folks,
turn.
if it sounds like we're just rattling off a million games,
Did I say those words?
I've only got 20 blocks and bonus locks total. I will tell you which ones are my locks and which ones are my bonus locks, but it's not that many.
And I'll tell you this: UCF and Kansas are in my top 5. So there's that.
3802. Or what's up, man? Exactly. Ice in my veins. I'm not gonna let those West Coast punks push me around.
What is he talking about?
He's saying that I'm not caving in to your peer pressure there, buddy.
All right. Anyone else? Big 12.
I said
I'm
my other bonus lock was Baylor on the over.
PattyC's got Baylor on the over.
Was that 7?
Hey, you locked that last year, and that hit for you.
7.5.
Yeah.
This team went 12-2 last year, 10-2 in the regular season. Their losses were by 2 points against the rival on the road, and by 2 points against or by 10 points against the conference champion, or actually against Oklahoma State, who they beat in the conference championship. So they're a really good program. They have been for a while. Sure, they have their down years, but now with Aranda, they have some stability. The talent's there. It's Texas football. 7.5 seems doable.
Texas tough.
Texas tough.
All right, let's go.
All right, I think we've mentioned every team in the Big 12. We can move on now.
I'm gonna
told you that was my conference.
When we finish this up, guys, I say we give our hard locks. You know, we narrow it down to our hard locks, so people have something to shoot at.
All right, well, I want to tell you folks out there that the College Football Experience Win Total Lock episode and Week 0 picks is brought to you by WinBet. Yes. Bet $100 at WinBet and get $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by Odds Trader. Odds Trader is a place to compare odds from all the major sportsbook. You can also compare the different sign-up codes and promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to ensure that you get the best deal possible. The app also provides player stats, key game stats, injury reports, projected game day weather for bettors who make the most informed bets possible. It also has a bet tracker. That's what I love. You can get like 5 different sports going. Organize your bets. Go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. Odds Trader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. We're also brought to you by Run Your Pool. Run Your Pool is the home of competition, bringing sports fans in their social circles together to compete, connect, and make every game matter more. Run Your Pool offers every game you can think of under the sun. Pick'em, Survivor, fantasy pools. It is a one-stop shop for sports gaming with customizable features that simply you're not going to get anywhere else. We've teamed up with Run Your Pool to do our SGPN NFL Survivor contest. It's free to enter, bozos. What are you doing? Get in now. The winner gets $500 cash plus a $250 gift card to the SGPN store. Sign up today at play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. All right, we are done with the Big 12. Let's move along to the Big 10. Folks, I only have one lock in the Big 10. Patty, how many do you have here?
In the Big 10, I have one as well. No, one and then one bonus.
I have 0. And look, let's say one other thing too. Like, we're not locking Ohio State over 10.5 or Alabama over 10.5 because it's like -250 or -400 or something. So yes, technically we could pick those, but come on, are you actually going to bet them? Probably not. So let's just say that I don't have any in the Big 10, guys.
Wow. I'm buying into what Jim Harbaugh's doing.
Yeah, me too. That's one of them.
I am on the over. I'm trying to see if that number has changed any.
9.5.
Yeah, 9.5 is the last I saw. But So,
well, they have an easy ass schedule, that's for sure.
And by the way, we got to apologize to UCLA. I had some fans reach out after last, or maybe 2 episodes ago. I do so many damn episodes, I don't even remember which one. In the past week, someone's reached out to me, sent me an article of Michigan canceling a game in Pasadena at UCLA. Oh. So UCLA had to scramble to add a team, and they added Alabama State. So that schedule wouldn't have been as cream puff soft out of conference had
Michigan
not been a bunch of bitches there.
Yeah, so Michigan is the bitches,
so
not UCLA.
Yes.
Interesting.
So where's this line at again?
9.5. Find me 3 losses here. I think at Iowa and at Ohio State, but I think they could go 1-1 there.
At Iowa's a 50-50 game.
Even though they haven't won there since 2002.
It's been hard, but they'll lose by like 3 points.
I mean, look, you got 3 home games against Penn State, Michigan State, and Nebraska. They could drop one of those.
I just think this team.
I think the over's pretty good here, but
I think that O-line is nasty.
Over is rock solid.
I think there's a chance they win in Columbus. I think there's a chance they win in Kinnick. I think there's a chance they could go 12-0.
Wow.
I think they should be favored in 11 games.
That schedule sucks. That schedule sucks, man.
Yeah, it's a terrible schedule.
Getting Iowa and Nebraska from the West is a little tough.
True. They also get Illinois though from the West too.
At home also, yeah.
Yeah.
And Nebraska's at
home. Two of three at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they get Iowa before it gets like cold. I almost think that
helps.
Iowa's more susceptible when it's like pussy weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. when you have to go up to freezing cold cornfields
and like the wind is blowing crazy. When they lost there last time with Harbaugh, I feel like it was like they couldn't kick a field goal all game because the wind was going absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and they're way better than they were those times. Look at last year, 42-3. Granted, that was in a dome, but October 1st in Kinnick Stadium ain't, you're right, frigid weather. I think Michigan probably gets that one done. It's probably more of a 50-50 game, but other than that, I expect them to be
watch it be snowing.
Right, exactly. I expect them to be no worse than 10-1 come Ohio State. So,
well, I'm just saying, like, okay, if they lose to Iowa and Ohio State, there's no way that he goes 0-3 against Mel Tucker. There's no way. I'll bet my fucking house on that, even though I don't own a house. I'll bet my dog on that. How about that? I'll fucking bet my dog. All right.
You're gonna be like Rocky. You're gonna be begging for you're gonna have to buy your dog back for like $10,000.
All right. What else do we got? Anyone else? Big Ten? Oh, you have a bonus. You said you had a bonus lock.
Iowa on the over 7.5.
I thought about it too. Yeah. I just think the floor in the Big Ten West is so up that I feel like an idiot not taking it. But
even if they lose to Michigan in Kinnick, that's still a 5-1 start. You got to figure. And then Northwestern still on the schedule, Purdue still on the schedule. I mean, Nebraska was a 3-win team last year.
Dude, but they play a style of ball, and I get it. Like, you're right, and we should probably all lock this up. But they win like 17-14 every year against like Iowa State. One play could be the difference in that thing. They won last year with 109 yards of offense.
It's true.
Fucking mind-boggling. Like Iowa State had like 400 yards of offense, lost that game. That's the only reason why I'm afraid to touch it.
Well, I should also be a little bit afraid to touch it just because it's Iowa, and generally speaking, 7 or 8 wins is exactly what they always do. So Vegas, I feel like, is just throwing shit at the wall. Like, this is what they do. A great Iowa team will have that breakout 10-win season.
Could South Dakota State pull the upset week 1?
They could. They have more speed.
They're
probably
really good, man. They're really good. Nick, what do you make of Iowa? You're not touching that one, huh?
No. I'm with you over, but not strong enough for a lock. No thanks.
So you had 0 in the Big Ten.
I don't like the Big Ten.
I don't like them after USC and UCLA are there. Fuck the Big Ten. But still, I'll take Michigan on the over.
But most of my locks, my top 10, I only had one Power 5.
Who's hipster?
There.
Who's the hipster now? All right.
Sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses.
Iowa 10 regular season wins last year, and then
I know.
Now you'd have to get under 7 for them to hit the under. Kind of disrespectful.
True.
All right, let's hop down to the beautiful Conference USA. What are we doing here? Does anybody have any locks in the CUSA? Because I do.
I do as well.
No locks, but one bonus.
I'm taking you to the house that Moses Malone built The Alamo Dome. All right.
Oh,
UTSA is going to smash that over. Smash that over. They're not losing.
Buddy. Here we go. Lock battle.
Oh,
Fucking battle.
Some of the fans were calling for this on Twitter.
Buddy,
Wow.
let me bring up, talk about flash in the pan and buying the recency, having a recency bias here. This team had never gotten to 8 wins. What is that number? 8.5?
I mean, they started their football program like a decade ago.
It's
dude.
true, but this is the only good season they've ever had last year.
And this team's better than last year's
A bunch
team.
of close wins that they squeaked out. Okay, and a miracle run. Can we just say maybe they fall back to earth a little bit here?
No,
Still 8.5 seems a little bit doable because what did they do? Like 11-1 in the regular season last year.
yes, and they got better.
Even still, I think they just got a little bit lucky last year. I'm not buying it 2 years in a row. They have the target on them now.
They bring back their whole line. The target of the CUSA. All right. They bring back like their whole line of scrimmage. They lose Sincere McCormick, but they bring in Traylon Smith, who was really good at Arkansas. Bring in a bunch of transfers from LSU. I think multiple transfers from LSU. A transfer from K-State that I think is going to start on that defense.
Here's what I'm saying. They're going to be 0-3, and then they're going to have to win every other game on their schedule to get there. They have to. They're hosting Houston, right? I think Houston wins that, right? Then they go to Army. We know what Texas teams do when they play against triple option teams. They've never seen it in high school, and they get their ass kicked by 70. And then they go to Texas, who I think is probably better than them, and Darrell Royal Stadium is going to be a little tough for them to get through. 0-3, it's tough to go 9-0 after that.
They're not going 0-3 there.
And check out this. They don't get Florida Atlantic or Charlotte, who I think is going to be two of the better teams on the like in the CUSA.
Sure. The last 9 games on their schedule are very winnable. I just think it's tough to go from 0-3 to 9-3.
Like Florida Atlantic and Charlotte were both 5-7 last year. I don't think that's a major break not getting them.
No, but I'm saying, I mean, dude, the whole conference left. Obviously, Marshall's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So
I'm with
Western,
you. I'm actually siding with Colby. I'm on the over here, but not one of my locks.
Oh, you coward! You absolute coward!
All right, well, come with me on this one. Come with me on Western Kentucky under 8.5.
I got it in my notes.
All right. Well, come all the way. I don't want it in your notes. I want you riding shotgun with me.
But you know
buddy.
they play an extra game because they play on the island, though, right?
It doesn't matter. They went 8-4 last year in like a magical season, and everybody left. Only 4 starters returning on offense. New OC, new quarterback, top 2 receivers gone. You name it. I know they hit the portal and they got a Division II quarterback, just won the starting gig. I know they got a couple MAC receivers transferring in, but I'm not buying it, especially when you have, a road game against a Big Ten team, a road game against an SEC team. That last year they dodged UAB, not this year. This year they played the Blazers. They're at UTSA. At Middle Tennessee is a possible, slip up game. So
nobody goes into Johnny Red and gets a dub.
I mean, just assuming the wheels are going to fall off.
No, I do think they're going to fall. Like, I'm not going to lock it up with you.
Look, this team.
But I think he's right.
What'd they do? 9-3 in the regular season with a 3-point loss at Army, a 2-point loss against Indiana. And, or I guess, no, they had 4 losses in regular season. They did get slapped by Michigan State, but then pretty close game against UTSA. So 8-4.
They lost everybody, man.
I do think you guys are probably right about that. I'm not locking it though.
Anyone else? CUSA? Any plays? Everyone's a coward, huh? Let's move along then. What is next alphabetically? Is it the MAC? I think the MAC. Yes. Oh no, Independence.
Oh, I got a big one here.
We got Notre Dame, we got BYU, we got UMass, we got UConn, we got Liberty, we got New Mexico State, and guess what? I'm locking up New Mexico State and Jerry Kill. All right, come on, get it. This is my Kansas. This is this year's Kansas. All right, all right.
A lot of faith.
Dude,
a lot of faith in Jerry Kill.
They got this thing. Get in now, folks, when you can. Because pull up that schedule. This team is not there. There's no way they're not hitting. What's it? 2.5? You kidding me? I guess some places have it at 3 also. But yeah, give me the over on New Mexico State. Dude, pull up that schedule right now.
Let me get that up. independent. I like how they all play each other. It's the independent conference.
It is. I like that too, man. And you look at this thing; they're going to be 1-0 after this Saturday. All right.
They got Nevada. Outlandish statement. Nevada went what 8-4 last year.
They lost everybody, dude.
I don't care. That's a huge assumption.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna win that one in Las Cruces. That place is gonna be packed for that. I've been keeping up to date with the ticket sales
New
going
Mexico
on there. In
and
Las
Nevada
Cruces.
should be rivals a little bit.
Then you got the battle of the I-10. I mean, I don't think they'll be favored, but I think it's winnable. The Sun Bowl game, September 10th.
Okay.
They will beat Hawaii just like they did last year in Aggie Memorial. So that's to me, Nevada and Hawaii are wins. The airport is coming all the way to New Mexico. That doesn't bode well for the airport. That is a winnable game. Also, they get a bye week before hosting New Mexico. That is a winnable game, right?
There are some wins.
They still have Lamar and UMass on the schedule.
There are some wins to be had. You might have a point.
Give me that over. Lock it up, Jerry Kill.
I'm with you. I'm on the over.
You're locking it?
I'm not ready to lock it up.
You fucking bum, Nick.
No, sir.
Come on, this is this year's Kansas. You bought in last year. Buy in.
I'm not buying this year, man.
I have another one that I put
What
there.
do you guys think about BYU and Notre Dame? I mean, I was high on both of them. I think both of them can get to double-digit wins and clear. They're both sitting at 8.5, but they didn't quite make my list. Notre Dame's ran into some injuries of late, and BYU just has a tough schedule. Both of them have tough schedules.
I was on Notre Dame before the injuries. I was thinking that it was going to be. I'm backing off a little bit now.
Yeah.
They're depleted at the wide receiver position.
Yeah,
they would need to. I mean, at Ohio State, Clemson, against BYU to a neutral site, and at USC potentially. That could be your 4 losses right there.
Yeah.
But it's close. I could see over. I could see under. I mean, they could have a great season. I don't trust Buckner yet. I want to see more.
I'm gonna hold off,
guys. Yep. You're gonna laugh at me. I have one more.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I got a huge one. I got one of my highest locks in this group here.
I got one that look. I'm gonna put this one in the SMU bin. All right. UMass on the over.
Oh gosh.
UMass on the over. That
schedule about Colby loving shit teams,
dude. It's 2.5. This fucking schedule. They have Stony Brook and Temple back-to-back weeks. You might cash this. You might. You can cash this thing early potentially.
You better cash it early. Cause
what do you mean? What do you mean better cash it early?
Let me see.
What's that Halloween matchup where New Mexico State's got to go all the way to McGurk?
You were just saying the praises of New Mexico State.
Okay, when they go to Rensselaer, when they take on two really in Arkansas State,
you're really gonna back 2 shitty independents? I can understand.
No. My main lock is New Mexico State. This is one of these ones where it's not a bonus lock, but it's right there. It's right there. It's right there. It's close. It's right. It's same as SMU. I gave you one of these in each conference.
Okay.
You know, so it's not a lock of mine, but it's right there. It is right there. So PattyC, you said you have one. What is yours? Are you going Jim Mora Jr.?
No, I'm not going Jim Mora Jr. I'm going Hugh Freeze.
Oh,
yes.
Hugh Freeze.
Yes.
Charlie Brewer is 35 years old.
I mean, he's got tons of experience. This is a team that went 10-1 2 years ago. Last year they had a disappointing 7-5. The number is 6.5 this year. They won their bowl game, so 8-5. And look, they lost to Ole Miss. Okay, they had a couple bad losses, but I think that overall, this team, I trust Hugh Freeze. I think the quarterback is there. 6.5 is pretty easy. And let me check this schedule one more time. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, at Wake could be a loss, but that's easier now. BYU, Arkansas, and maybe Virginia Tech. Other than that, I think every single game is a cakewalk.
Cakewalk.
Southern Miss.
I think they're going to lose a Southern Miss.
I guess
UAB's a cakewalk.
UAB
I mean,
ODU's
a cakewalk.
Yes, ODU's a cakewalk for a team like Liberty. Southern Miss, Akron,
Malik Willis,
UMass,
gone.
Gardner Webb, UConn, New Mexico State. All that's 6 wins right there. All they got to do is win one 50-50 game, and they are over. It's a lock.
I like it. And by the way, shout out to Nagel's Bagels, who's on the New Mexico State angle. There we go. Have some faith, trust Dundee. Come to the land down under, people. All right. Well, look, I'm in the middle here of of breaking down our win totals locks here, but I got to get us paid one more time. I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper is the fastest growing fantasy platform today with millions of different players. You probably already have a fantasy league on there. I know I do. They just passed 4 million different users. All right. That's like Bailey Zappi didn't even pass for that many yards last year. All right. Look, and they have this brand new over under game. It's fantastic. First, in any sport, you choose 2 or more players you like. You pick the over, the under, and their stat projection. And if you pick correctly, you can win anywhere from 2 times to over 20 times the amount of money you put in. And with the NFL season right around the corner, Sleeper is the first sports contest game built into the fantasy experience. So right now on your mobile phone, join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/SGP. That's sleeper.com/SGP, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. We're also brought to you by Trade Coffee. Trade Coffee connects customers to the freshest and best tasting coffee they've ever made at home by partnering with the country's best craft roasters. These are independent businesses from big cities and small towns. Trade customers are truly impactful for these independent roasters, often being the largest source of new growth for them. And get this, it's expert tasted. Yes, Trade's got a coffee team that taste tests thousands of different coffees every single day. They have over 450 different kinds live and ready to ship out to you. So there is no one perfect coffee, but there is a perfect coffee for you. And Trade's got a human-powered algorithm that's going to find it for you. So right now, what are you doing? Get in. Trade is now offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/SGP. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free, people. Get started today by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. All right. Well, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pause this thing. If you're watching on YouTube, stay put. We're going to pause this thing, continue on our locks, and then we're going to give you week 0 in a bit.
I want to say one more thing before we pause this. Hugh Freeze has coached for how many years? It looks like about 10, under 6.5 one time in that span as a coach.
We've already moved on, PattyC.
All right, let's keep it going.
All right, well, stick around. We're going to get to more the rest of our locks. You're listening or watching the college football experience, so hang tight. All right, we are back, and we're about to have a special guest. We are about to have a special guest here in a second here. Yeah. I mean, come on. This is I'm just waiting. I'm just figuring out what's going on here.
Did you finally book George W?
Yeah. So I was like, maybe we could all choke on a pretzel together, right? Shout out to George W. getting it done. Talking about Dan Marino's dynamic wife. Let's just take a minute. I'm gonna send this off, but let's recap right now what locks we have. Right, we have right now. I got Kansas and UCF as my power play locks. Those are probably my top 2.
Power play, ooh.
Right. After that,
Mega Whale power plays.
After that, I'm buying some of that Kansas State stock. I'm buying that NC State understock. I'm buying that Iowa State overstock. I'm buying the Michigan overstock. I'm buying the UTSA overstock. And guess what? New Mexico State over 3 wins. NC Nick, I think, has locked up what? He's got.
Shall I?
Yeah.
Are you giving me the floor? Kansas over 2.5. I got Western Kentucky under 8.5. I got UCF, the very Golden Knights, over 8.5. Memphis under 7.5.
I forgot my Memphis play.
And then I got some of the bonus locks. I got a triple under for you: ACC country, UNC under, FSU under, Syracuse under, then a double Big 12 over 6.5 with K-State and Iowa State.
I like it.
Uniformity. I like
it. And PattyC has. He's got UTSA on the under.
Not a lock though. Not a lock.
Okay.
Bonus lock.
Okay.
I'll rattle off the locks that I've spit out so far.
Wait. We got a guy here. There we go. Is he connected? Is he connected right now? I'm not sure. Is he connected?
I can see him.
Is he live? I don't know. He's trying to figure it out.
Plug in those headphones, buddy.
Rattle off your locks, PattyC. Why Terrell figures it out.
Locks I've rattled off so far: Wake over 6.5, Virginia over 7.5, UCF over 8.5, Memphis under 7.5, Michigan over 9.5, Texas under 8.5, Kansas State over 6.5, Liberty over 6.5, and that is it so far.
I like it. We were all locked unison with UCF on the over, Memphis on the under. Terrell Furman Jr., host of the NBA
Yes,
and WNBA Gambling Podcast, joins us. Look, I know he wanted to get in on this locks episode. So look, we've already covered the ACC. Let me just go really quickly then. ACC, do you have any plays?
ACC, give me the over on Wake Forest.
Yes.
Over 6.5 on Wake Forest. That is my lock.
Me and PattyC are with you. We were on that lock. Actually, and that's another one of my power plays. That is on there. That is top 5 right there for me.
Mega whale, right?
Power plays. What is this?
Mega
What is this? The
whale.
Mega Ball? what are you talking about? Power plays.
My power play here.
I think it's a hockey gambling podcast that talks power plays, buddy.
Okay, so you have any other ACC plays?
No, I'm good. Just give me Wake Forest. I
How
still
about-
like what Clausen's doing over there.
Yeah, me too. Me and PattyC both locked up the over on Wake Forest. NC Nick was a little too pussy to join us there. The AAC. The AAC. We played a few in the AAC. We actually had lock unity on UCF over and Memphis under. Did you have any?
Yeah. I'll tag in on that. I like
Which
that.
one? With both?
Both. I like both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Give me UCF over and Memphis under.
Quad locks.
There we go. Let's let me cue up that music right here if I could find it. I don't know where the fuck I am. Anyway, there we go. 4 people taking UCF over 8.5. 4 people taking Memphis under 7.5. What are you doing, folks?
Yeah,
Get in.
I especially love the UCF over 8.5. I think come on. UCF has been good for years.
Yeah, I'm all over that. I am all over that. Conference USA. Do you have any action in the CUSA?
No, I'm not messing with the CUSA, man. It's too much turnover. I'm not.
How about the Big Ten?
The Big Ten. What did I like in the Big Ten? All right, give me. Oh no, Big Ten. The Big Ten. Give me the under on Ohio State.
Wow.
I'm calling it.
Ooh, I like it.
Ohio State. I think that Stroud is good, and he is first round pick good. I think they get snuck somewhere on that schedule. Everybody just go ahead and saying that this is the year Ohio State makes the playoff. I don't know. I think
Penn State would
they get snuck somewhere.
They'd have to get bit twice because it's
not
at 10.5,
necessarily,
right?
Yeah, 10.5.
Oh, is it? Is it 10.5?
Yeah, they got to lose twice.
Okay,
lose twice.
Is it both of the home games at Notre Dame and Michigan that they lose at Penn State? Maybe.
Yes, that's the one. That's one. That's one.
The at Penn State game. I don't think the Notre Dame game. I think they're going to thrash Notre Dame. I'm sorry, but
agreed.
It's either that or maybe Michigan comes back and somehow steals another one. I don't know. I just feel like everybody's bought into Ohio State this year, and I am too. They're a very good team, but I think they're a good 2-loss team.
Well, the great thing about that is you got all kind of crazy plus juice on the under there too.
Yeah.
Wisconsin
give me
and
Ohio
Iowa.
State. Nobody's going to tell you that. Nobody in the world is going to tell you bet Ohio State's under this year. I'll do it because I think this is one of the years that they get caught slipping.
There we go. Spencer Petras going to come into the horseshoe, throw for a $1.30, throw for a $1.30. All right.
10-9 victory.
They did lose to Oregon last year. They did lose to Oregon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. How about Big 12? You have any plays in the Big 12?
Yes. Fuck all y'all. Kansas State's going to suck this year. I don't care. It's Adrian Martinez.
Lock battle.
It's Adrian Martinez. I don't care. I hate all of you guys. Kansas State's
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Adrian Martinez is not good. This is like year 20 for him, and he's
not going to need to throw the ball. They're going to run the option with him and Deuce Vaughn, and it's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. I'm telling you, like, I can't wait. This is good. This is why the season's fantastic. We get to talk shit every week.
When Scott Frost finally figured it out, it was like, we said it last year. We're like, let the dude play playground ball. That's what he does. And then they started letting him do it, and they were performing better. They looked like dog shit when they lost to Illinois at the beginning of the season. We were like, dude, you're trying to force him to be a throwing quarterback. Let him play. But they still found a way because they fuck up the way they do. Kansas State doesn't do that. They're great on special teams, not pathetic on special teams.
Looks like the chat is kind of favoring with Terrell there.
Hopping in there. Well, look, I'll say this: with or without Adrian Martinez, he could tear his ACL the first game of the season. I still feel all right about it because it's hard to win in Manhattan. They could have Joe Schmo starting there, and I think it's a tough place to win. So I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right with the Wildcats. Did we lose? Did we lose Terrell? All right.
We'll get him back. We'll get him back here in a minute.
All right. Well, look, Independence. We mentioned PattyC's got Liberty. I got New Mexico State. NC Nick didn't touch the Independence. Let's hop on over.
Commie.
Let's hop on over to what do we got next? The Maction, baby. You know what I'm doing.
Akron.
Zip it up, baby. Zip it up
and zip it out.
Look, New Mexico State. I'm in on that action. UMass. Look, I didn't lock it up, but I'm betting it personally. I'm betting that thing. And then Akron. I got 3 2-win teams. Give me and Kansas. You add Kansas in the mix. I'm just bargain shopping. It's like the fucking Dollar Tree here. Anyway, Akron got Joe Morehead. He's a better coach than almost all the coaches in the conference for the most part, right? And he brought in like 500 transfers from Power 5 schools.
He did.
They are going to beat St. Francis in the opener. And then you're just going to need, was it 2.5 or 2?
2.5.
2.5. You're just going to need them to grab a couple wins within the MAC. This is very doable.
The MAC East is weak. I mean, everybody is beatable in the MAC East.
Not gonna lie, it was so long since we did this preview, I kind of forgot about them. But you're right. What were you saying about MAC East, Nick?
The MAC East is awful. The MAC East, I mean, every game is winnable. There's no dominant teams in the MAC East.
Yes, and that is why Akron is gonna hit. It's gonna hit. You look at that schedule, man. I mean, come on, they could beat Bowling Green. They beat Bowling Green the past 2 years. All they have to do is beat Bowling Green and then find a win somewhere out there. And come on, this is a good schedule. This is a very good schedule.
And call me crazy. I mean, in general, you probably don't want to touch the MAC as far as betting individual games or team totals. But I actually like a bunch of plays as at least like fringe or bonus locks. Do you guys have anything else, or should I jump in?
Wow, I only have this is my lone play in the MAC.
Well, I like Northern Illinois over 6.5.
I loved that before their top wideout, who had like 1,500 yards last year, total offense, is out for the year. Now I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, but they're recruiting decent there. They'll be able to fill that wide receiver hole. And then a couple unders I like: Buffalo under 5.5 and Ball State under 5.5.
Don't you dare!
Yeah, PattyC's boys, but Ball State. Terrell, we're talking Maction here. You got any MAC schools?
No, who turned my Wi-Fi off when I was about to shit on Adrian Martinez? Let's go back there. Let's go back there. Who turned my Wi-Fi off?
Had to be Colby.
Even God is sitting there saying, "Dude, Martinez, you're wrong on this one. Martinez is going to be balling this year."
Colby's like the guy in the military, and was it Forrest Gump? He's pulling out all the all the cords.
No, I'll back that over 2.5 with Akron.
Yes.
Plus money.
Yes.
Give me plus money for that. I'll take plus money on that.
You look at the transfers. It's like all like Alabama, LSU, Michigan State. They went out and raided. They brought in some big time talent, like their tight end's like a former 5-star. So they're gonna be able to beat some of these MAC teams with that. They're gonna be able to do it. So I like the fact, PattyC, you're not joining us on this Akron tip, huh?
Yeah, it slipped my mind. I'm not gonna lie. It had been so long since we touched Akron.
Well, think about it.
The name Akron, and I just skipped by it.
Well, look, last year, if you listen to the episode last year, towards the end of the, you were not in on Kansas on the over until the very end of the episode.
I'm jumping on Akron with you guys.
There we go.
That's a bonus lock. It's a bonus lock.
There we go. Zip it up. We're gonna feel like shit if St. Francis, if the Red Flash pull off the upset week 1 against Akron. No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, guys. Don't panic.
See, that's what makes it fun. That's a win total where you say week 1. All right, if we lose week 1, it's over. I don't have to worry about this the rest of the season.
Oh man.
Well, did we get through all of Terrell's picks?
Did you have any other Big 12 plays?
Let's just Kansas over, and then if we move over to the Independents, give me Liberty over.
Boom.
Okay,
that's a big lock for me.
And then anything I'm missing after that?
I mean, if there's you want to touch Notre Dame or Michigan or BYU at all? No. Okay.
No.
Okay, so then we're jumping from the MAC. Nick, do you have other plays that would?
No, that's it.
Okay. We will now jump to the Mountain West. Things are getting frigid up there in the mountains
too. I like the Mountain West this year.
Well, I got call me the under king here. Give me the under on Hawaii. Give me the under on Hawaii. They can play. It doesn't matter if it's 13 games. Doesn't matter if it's 25 games. I can't see this team winning. This program is a disaster right now. June Jones, friend of the program, he'll be the first to tell you that. And I think, I mean, he probably won't right now because Timmy Chang's his former player and that's his boy and he's going to rep him. But I just see a dumpster fire.
He didn't
sitting there
say
on that
no
island.
to it. He didn't say no to it because he couldn't win 6 games. He said no to it because he's trying to take them to a different level of play and getting them to invest, and they won't do it.
It was the administration did that just to try to please the Islanders. They had no interest in actually hiring him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they knew he wouldn't take that deal.
Oh, so they gave him a shit deal. And,
yeah, it was a real. I'm telling you, the administration it
gets deep.
It's a smelly situation coming off that island. Anyone want to join me on the under in Hawaii?
I side that way, but not one of my locks.
All right. Well, I want to take you also to the under in Reno.
I'm
Nevada.
with you there, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Hawaii is a bonus lock. Nevada is a flat out top 10 lock for me. Give me the under. What is it? 5? 4.5? I think it's 4.5 now. 5. Okay. Yeah.
Only 2 starters back on offense. Only 4 starters back on defense. Just 44 career starts for the offensive line combined. And if you're in the Mountain West, the West division, you want to get either New Mexico and Wyoming from the mountain. They get neither. Tough schedule, bad team, first year head coach, under all day.
I think also, and I'm trying to remember if it was on the offense or the defensive line. Their one guy that they brought back tore his ACL. He's out for the year.
Oh,
so yeah. Give me all day. I'm buying the under on the Wolfpack.
Can we get a quad lock? Now, PattyC's a Nevada guy.
Yeah.
What happened? This team has gone bowling 14 in the last 17 years, and you guys got them under 5 here. Under 5 flat.
What happened? You date a girl in Reno or something? What happened?
I didn't date her. I fell in love and married her. Yes, her name is Roxanne, and she's a streetwalker.
Actually, definitely has some real estate in Reno.
Damn right.
Yeah, right. I mean, what does that go for? You can probably get a house for what 30.
Yeah.
It's like Detroit, man. You can get a house for like 20 grand.
Get a little meth lab install.
Okay. Any other Mountain West plays?
Yes, I'm with Joe Hackney on the chat. San Diego State over 7.5. Dude, they went 11-1 in the regular season last year. Our guy Phil Steele has San Diego State having the top defensive line in the conference, the top linebacking group in the conference, and the top DBs in the conference. This defense is for real.
And you got to realize, I think you guys might be talking. I think I just kind of forgot about this one. They were playing in Long Beach. That's like a 3-hour. That's like a 3-hour difference from their stadium.
Yeah.
So
now
like
no
one was
snapper.
coming to fans. They had no fans last year. And now they're going to have their own stadium. It's already, I saw that it's already, I think, about to sell out for the Arizona game.
No one comes in the snapper.
No one comes into the snapper and grabs a dub. Are you on it? Are you
Guys,
on it,
that's
PattyC?
super high on my lock list. Very, very high on my lock list. Not my number 1. Should I just say it?
No more punt god.
No more point guide, but that is my number 2 lock.
Terrell, are
Did
you
y'all see
on
his
Sandy?
punt? Did y'all see his punt in the preseason game?
Yeah.
82 yards.
Dude, and it bounced. It was like set. I know it was a touchback, but he set them up. It actually bounced a couple ways if someone was down there to cover it.
That's a big if.
Which might be impossible to get down there that
you had
fast. They're going to need
Dion.
Flash
Wasn't
Gordon.
he like a 6th-round pick or something? He should have been like a 2nd-round pick. I mean,
Yeah.
like I know
Dude.
it's crazy to draft a punter that high, but if you lock up a punter that good for like 10 years, I mean, just draft him, set him, forget about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Jets fan, dude. They should have drafted him in the 1st round. You know what I mean? Like, come on, what are you doing? He's more
Kobe's
important.
not in charge of anything.
He's more important than because they've had such a great track record with their quarterbacks.
Well, with the Jets offense, you're going to be punting a lot.
That's
so
what I'm
you might have
saying.
a point.
That Hackenberg pick and that Sanchez pick are absolute fire, man.
Sam Darnold.
Wow,
Dude,
Christian Hackenberg, forgot that name.
I know,
Dude,
right?
he was in the AAF. Like, I've never seen a rookie go in and out of the NFL so fast. You would think like normally you would invest.
Yeah.
It was like instantly. It was like, here's 1 year and it's like gone. AAF.
Even who was even like Jamarcus Russell got like a couple chances with other teams. It's like, come on, man.
Even Ryan Leaf got a couple chances too. Right. Like they would try with Hackenberg. Everyone was like, no, it was like a fucking like a disease. Everyone's like, no, I don't want to touch that.
Was that a 1st-round pick for them?
Early second.
Early second.
All right. Well, okay, let's move along. Mountain West. Any other plays? Wait, do we have lock unity?
Gotta go with my guys.
Wait. Do we have lock unity on San Diego State?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
All right.
And I should have gone Air Force.
Someone's upset over here.
I am upset.
You can still do it, Patty.
Yeah, guess what?
It's gonna have to go on the bonus. I almost want to replace
There's
my
no rules
other.
here.
You know what? I'm gonna take one off, and I'm gonna throw that in my top 10.
Okay, Air Force.
Yeah.
What's that
Air
number
Force.
at? What's that number at?
Let me take one more look at
8.5.
8.5. They are going to be nasty this year. And another thing is like I feel like they'll get Utah State in Logan.
And
I was
look,
looking. What's that?
The schedule favors them. They have 4 of their first 5 games are home games, I believe, and then the last 6 weeks of the season, I think they really only have 1 true road game or something like that. The schedule favors them and them playing a lot at Air Force. And have you seen those sweet ass new Space Force uniforms?
Oh my God, those are flying.
They're going undefeated in those.
They've always had great uniforms. You added those Space Force uniforms. I'm in. I'm in on. So Nick, are you on Air Force too?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna ride that one. You know, I hate the triple option offenses.
Look, last 2 full seasons, obviously throw away, and I think the service academies had to take COVID seriously. They only went 3-3, but the last 2 full seasons they played 11-2 and 10-3. 8.5 seems pretty doable. They bring back that running back.
They got everyone. Brad Roberts is his name. Yeah, but they got a slew of players that can play.
I'll just throw it on as a bonus lock. I like it.
I got a couple bonus locks too. You mentioned Utah State. Are we still sitting at 7? Because there's no way Utah State goes 6-6.
I'm on the under on Utah State.
They won 11 games.
They were lucky. They were a lucky team, man. They were a lucky team.
The worst case you do here with 7 is they go 7-5, which would be a major disappointment, and you push. This team is not going to go 500. They're better than that. They got the coach coming back, the quarterback. Logan Bonner is a baller. Over on Utah State all day, and I'll take the over on Colorado State. My guy Norvell coming to town. He's going to get that team, playing better football quicker than most people expect.
I looked at the Colorado State thing. I was interested in it. I didn't do it, but I see the logic there. Utah State, I'm actually on the other side of that. PattyC, any other plays for Mountain West?
Nothing
anyone
Mountain West.
Touching anything else in the Mountain West?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right.
I'll follow suit with the Utah State.
There we go.
On the over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Blake Anderson's a good coach. So
wait, didn't they trade quarterbacks with the
backup? Their backup. Their starter is still there.
Okay.
Actually, the Wyoming starting quarterback followed his girlfriend, who's a volleyball player for Utah State.
Oh man.
He gave up the starting position in Laramie for a backup spot in Logan.
How many years of eligibility?
More power to you.
There's gonna be a romantic comedy built on them one day.
Right. About him being a lovable loser.
More power to you, man. More power to you.
He's gonna go win the national championship this year, and it's gonna be a movie about it.
Dude, you're in college, man. You can't come on, man. Come on. You got the whole rest of your life to be locked down.
This is look at all the old guys sitting here not supporting young love. Not supporting young love.
We had the number
look
one
at those
team.
Whippersnappers in my day. We would have.
Look, we speak from experience. We had a guy who was awesome. He was we had the number one team in the DC area basketball team. He was our star shooting guard. Got a full ride to Hawaii and said no to it. Didn't take the scholarship
because his girlfriend.
He didn't want to leave his girlfriend, and then he didn't do anything.
Months later, they were broken up.
To Hawaii. Like I mean, look, I'd understand it if it was like Albuquerque, New Mexico or something, but Hawaii.
Yeah, you're going to paradise, and you say nope.
Then his rap career never really materialized.
That's true.
He's probably working at Home Depot now.
Hey, let's not shit on our boy too much here.
Yeah, we love
Shout
him.
out to my guy.
Yeah, not dropping names. But.
Anyway, let's continue on this journey. Where are we going now from the Mountain West? We are going to the Pac-12. I have some action in the Pac-12. Do you, PattyC?
I have, I think, one in the Pac-12. Yeah.
NC Nick, do you have any action in
no,
the Pac-12?
I do not. Those games are on too late for these old guys over here.
Terrell, do you have any action in the Pac-12?
I do not.
Okay. Well, let me tell you then that I am taking Oregon State over 6.5 wins. That is a lock. That is not a bonus lock. That is a lock. I feel very good about their team and the returning starters that are coming in there. I think they have a great home field environment that always gives teams a tough time. I think they're going to beat USC in Corvallis in the first month, but I also think they're in contention to play for the Pac-12 championship. Now that there's not divisions, would not shock me if the Beavers this year were in the Pac-12 championship. They return a ton. They have a great ground attack, and another year in the system for the quarterback. If he can continue to improve, I think they could really be a thorn in the side of everyone in the Pac-12. I am on the over there. Anyone want to join me on the Beavers?
No, but I do have a lock. I just looked at it. I do have a
Colby is bullish on these sleeper teams.
All right.
I trust Colby on a lot of these.
Well, okay. I mean, I got one more. Who's yours, PattyC?
I got one. I'm curious as to yours.
What are we, just a hot potato in this
hot
fucking
potato?
Thing?
Vermin, let's hear yours.
Yeah.
Give me the over on Utah, over 9, because I think Utah is a playoff team this year. I think they are a playoff team. And if you sit here, I know Utah because I know if I won week 1, if they beat Florida week 1, I know I'm going to cash this. I'm either going to push or cash if they beat Florida week 1.
And PattyC said this a while ago, and I've been in love with this thought of saying Utah makes the playoff and takes on BYU, so we get the holy war in the playoff. That would be.
You know that
would be incredible.
That'd be dope.
But no, I see. I thought worst case scenario when I looked at Utah. I was like, worst case scenario, they're like 9-3 to me.
And I push.
I can't see them losing more than that. I really can't. And I know the schedule's a little tricky because they get, San Diego State, but it's in Rice Eccles, and Rice Eccles is a legit home environment. I feel like.
Oh yeah, you would figure
between San Diego State and UCLA, it's one of those two.
Yeah.
I think at Oregon could be tough, even though they whipped Oregon twice last year, and at Wazoo.
Yeah, no, I actually think the Wazoo game is probably more scary than the UCLA one because they match up well against UCLA. They fucked them up over the past 5 years. I don't mind.
I like how we all skipped over USC not being a threat at all and just saying, yeah, fuck USC. They're going to beat USC.
Hey, if it was in LA, I would probably say USC's got, but in Salt Lake City,
still a dangerous game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously USC's had the most players drafted in the history of the NFL. Did you know that? USC is the number 1 team still. So of course we know they got ballers when they're 2-10. We know they got ballers.
Yeah.
When you're in a city of 20 million people and there's only 2 schools and you're number 1, you should have a lot of talent. So it's like 3 states on the East Coast that they have to themselves.
Who's your Pac-12 play?
It's kind of random. I'm going Arizona State over 6.
With all the turnover.
Wow.
8-4 last year.
I do like the angle that when Jaden Daniels transferred out, the locker room rejoiced. So like honestly, like I like Jaden Daniels. I think he's actually like good, but obviously I don't know the guy. But if he was a problem in the locker room and you bring in Emory Jones, who I think is probably, I thought that they kind of hated on Emory Jones. The public did a little too much. I think Emory Jones is better than
better quarterback.
I mean, I think Jaden Daniels is better, but it doesn't matter. What would the team play for? You know what I mean? If they're going to play for Emory Jones, maybe you could have something going there.
Sure.
I didn't touch it though.
Let me see. Let me take one more peek at their non-conference. They should go 2-1 in the non-conference. They got to go to Oklahoma State, but they host Northern Arizona and Eastern Michigan. And I don't know, Stanford, Colorado. I think Arizona.
You're not afraid of that Northern Arizona game?
Yeah, watch out for the Lumberjacks. They took down the Wildcats last year.
You're not scared about that game?
The Wildcats and the Sun Devils are 2 different beasts. I don't think Northern Arizona is going to get that done. I just think. Hey, I mean, I think that it looks like 7 wins to me. I don't know why I would put that as a lock, but I just say, based on their history, Arizona State normally wins more than 6.
They always have talent. That's the thing. It's like I know like 30 players left, but I still know that like this team always like I years where they were terrible, and you're like that they put in the 3rd string running back, and you'd be like, who the fuck is that? He's good.
Yeah,
like they always have good talent around
bowling
them. I feel like.
9 of the last 11 years. All they got to do is go bowling to hit that. If you got 9 out of 11 odds, you take it.
I'm a Herm Edwards guy. I'm rooting for him. So let's go. But guys, I have one more lock. It's a bonus lock because I don't have the courage to fade my boys that strongly. The Colorado line's at 3.5, guys. They're not winning 4 games. This line went up recently. How?
Wow.
What happened?
It's up to 4?
No, it's 3.5.
Oh,
it was at a flat
it was
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I look, they're my boys. They suck. They went out and hired an offensive coordinator that I can't stand as far as like his play calling. I thought he was terrible last year. Mike Sanford,
Minnesota guy.
Yeah, he was awful at Minnesota. So they lost. They got just destroyed in the portal. Jerry Rice's son's now at USC. Their other starting wideouts at Iowa State now. Their running back Broussard's at Michigan State. They just got their starting corner starts for Oregon. Their other starting corner starts for USC. They got destroyed. They got destroyed in the portal.
Even their most winnable game against Arizona is at Arizona. I mean, there's not a surefire win on this whole schedule.
No, they schedule like idiots, and they're gonna be. That's why the under is gonna cash for me. Who's coming with me?
You know what? You talked me into it.
If Colby's doing it, I'll do it.
There we go. That's what I'm saying. It's my boys.
I'll throw it down as a bonus lock.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. Buffalo's under 3.5 wins. Get in. Shop to your trap. Blue light special going on in Boulder, Colorado. All right.
It's such a random team for us all to get behind.
Dude, they were bad last year.
But Carl Durrell does better than that. His
it's not
track
his
record,
fault that the whole team left.
But his track record is way better than 3.5 wins per season. Can he make magic happen?
That schedule
is very hard.
Yeah, that schedule's brutal. All right.
And how many games did they win last year?
3,
4.
Right? 4. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we're done with the pack. Let's move along. Wait, we only have the SEC and the Sun Belt left. So let's hop into the SEC. I do have a couple locks. What do you guys?
No locks. Only bonus locks.
Wow.
Only bonus locks.
Nick?
I got 1 lock and 1 bonus lock. What you want?
Terrell?
I got 1 lock.
Ooh, well, guys, I faded my boys as in the Colorado Buffaloes. My guy Mike Leach ain't letting me down this year. Give me the over. Give me the over on Will Rogers and the air raid year 3. We know we've seen a sample size of this. Year 3, the air raid starts to click. It starts to click. Give me the over. What is it? 6.5. Give me the over on Mississippi State. 7-5 is your worst case scenario.
They were 7-5 last year. A couple close losses, and year 3 it starts to click because Will Rogers threw for 4,700 plus yards and 36 touchdowns compared to 9 interceptions last year. I'd say it was clicking pretty good a year ago. It's only going to be even better this year. And I mentioned it earlier in the podcast. This defense is legit. The defense returns 84% of last year's production, which is top 10 in the country. And in total, they have 17 returning starters, which is by far the most in the SEC West.
Boom.
I don't care if the schedule's tough and they play Georgia and Kentucky from the East. It doesn't matter. They'll get to 7.
They can beat Kentucky. I don't know about Georgia.
You convinced me to take the over, but lock seems a little aggressive.
Wow.
To me.
Wow. All right. Well, Terrell, what's your lock in the SEC?
Oh, you already know what it is. I'm going with my guys down the street, the South Carolina Gamecocks over 6. I'm telling you right now.
I had a feeling.
This is going to be a scary team. I'm not saying that Spencer Rattler is going to be all that in a bag of chips, but this team has been a quarterback away. They've been a quarterback away for many years, and I think Rattler can come in there and get them at least 6 wins, but I'm expecting 7. And watch them in that Georgia game. I'm just saying it early. This is early.
I like it.
Watch that Georgia game.
Hey, they won 6 last year with absolute dumpster fire at the quarterback position. So yeah, I like the over there.
Yeah, I do too. I went over. I didn't lock it, but I do like it.
Either.
Yeah.
At home in the non-conference slate, Georgia State, Charlotte, and South Carolina State. There's 3 wins right there. All you got to do is get 3 more.
Watch out for that Georgia State game, though. They can play.
That's
and
true.
There's wins out there in the SEC East. There's Vandy. There's Missouri. Even Florida is down.
They might be able to beat Kentucky, man. I don't think.
They might be able to beat Kentucky, and nobody else want to say Georgia just yet.
Tennessee might be a little bit overrated too. I think GBO Farmers went to bed. I can say it now.
Let me ask you this. Can they get Clemson? Is Rattler the guy that can outgun?
They could. I wish it was in Columbia this year, though. The fact it's in Clemson.
Yeah,
I think I told Colby. I said they get one or the other. They either steal Georgia or they steal Clemson, but they get one.
Wow, bold statement.
I like it. I have another SEC play, but PattyC, you haven't played your SEC play yet, right?
Well, I mean,
you have none.
We said Bama. Right? No locks, just bonus.
Oh,
locks.
Nick, you have one.
I got a bonus lock.
What's that?
And this is strictly a coach play. LSU over 7.
That's mine. That's my
Brian
other
Kelly's.
one. Yeah.
Look, say what you want about Brian Kelly, but the dude's won wherever he's been, and especially if they beat Florida State week 1, then I think we're looking good to at least push it.
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started. And
I was about to say, did he keep his Southern accent?
It's a great night.
He needs to.
I'm here with my family.
I'm here with the Brian Kelly family as well, even though those videos are absolutely fucking hilarious and ridiculous. Sign me up. I just think they're too talented. They're too talented. And that out of conference schedule is shit. They get like New Mexico, Florida State, Southern. Then they get, who's the fourth?
UAB.
I mean, maybe they can give them I don't know, but I think they'll be 4-0 out of conference. So then you just need 4 wins in conference. Well, I think they can get Ole Miss. I mean, honestly, the SEC West, who knows? But I mean, they can beat teams. They're talented enough to. That is one of my bonus locks. LSU.
They get Florida
over 7 wins.
If it was 7.5, I would not bet it, not lock it. But if it's at 7, I think worst case scenario is a push.
Actually, they got to go to Florida. That might be dangerous.
They can still beat Florida though. I'm not sold on Florida. I think Florida on the line of scrimmage is still off. But it's obviously the swamp is the swamp. You could lose there. Okay, so are we done with the SEC?
SEC. I'm just going to throw out 2 quick plays. 6.5 wins for Auburn and Florida. I think I'm taking the over on both as bonus locks. I just think the programs are better than that. Programs are better than 6.5 wins and the 9-conference slate with the 4-game 9-conference.
That's
slate.
just crazy though, because Harsin could be fired. Like they tried to create a scandal where it's saying he slept with someone he didn't even know.
I feel like at this point it would be a really bad look for Auburn to fire a guy after what they did last year and got caught trying to run his name.
Dude, this is Auburn.
This is Auburn. You have a point.
Come on,
put nothing past them. But I still just think if he doesn't get fired, I think Auburn's better than 6.5. I think Auburn should get to 7.
All right. Well,
but Florida, I'm a little stronger on because the SEC East is weaker.
It's up for grabs more. All right. Look, before we get to the Sun Belt, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Babbel. For most of us, learning a second language in high school or college wasn't exactly a high point in our academic career. And now, thanks to Babbel, the language learning app that's sold more than 10 million subscriptions. Jeez, it's a lot. Look, this thing is fantastic. It's fun. It's easy. They make it as easy as possible to learn a new language, which is kind of hard, you know. So they have a great way to do this. They do a 15-minute lesson, only 15 minutes per day. Just boom, boom, boom. You get that. And look, other language apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts. Look, their teaching method, has been scientifically proven to be effective. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, German, all those languages. It's got speech recognition technology, helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. Because look, my wife, she's from Colombia. She came here to learn and learned English, and she still has a hard time with like certain little words. So I get what they're saying when they're saying the accent.
Talking about the District of Columbia.
Yeah, the District of Columbia. There we go. That too.
They got an accent over there.
Anyway, right now, save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/SGP. That's BABEL.com/SGP for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, talking language for life. We're also brought to you by Elias. I don't know if you guys are. It's hot as shit in here, right? Isn't it hot as shit in here?
Really,
anyway,
my knees are sweating.
It's almost the start of the NFL season. I love this time of year. And if you're into sports betting or fantasy, you need a competitive edge to win. And that's why I highly recommend Elias Game Plan, the app. It's really awesome. Look, Elias Game Plan is the only sports app from the most trusted name in sports. I mean, look, they handle the actual statistics for the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL. So what are you doing, folks? Get in now. The app is a one-stop shop for player news, league validated player stats, team records. It's got expert game analysis for betting. They can help you build your own fantasy team. You got to get in. You got to get in right now. Take my advice. Download Elias Game Plan app today. NFL season is right around the corner, so do not wait. Find Elias Game Plan in the App Store or Google Play Store today. All right, we are back talking Sunbelt Fun Belt action.
All right, one thing though, 3802er wants to know if Babbel could even help PattyC.
This is
he'd be a tough student. He'd be a tough student, but I think Bavla could help him.
I'll be honest though. I feel like I speak better Spanish when I'm
there you go. Colby's
beverages,
romancing his lady, speaking, hitting her with a little Spanish. What is that? Antonio Banderas action? I don't know.
People say I remind you
resemble him.
Yeah, I get a little bit of that. All right, let's talk a little Sun Belt, Fun Belt action. NC Nick's a big Sun Belt guy. Are you going to take? I got one play in the Sun Belt. I actually have 2 plays in the Sun Belt. NC Nick, he's flexing the hat already, and I think I'm right there with them. I'm wondering if we're going to have lock unity here. Appalachian State over. What was it? 8.5, right? 8.5 wins. I'm on board.
2 FCS on the schedule. 5th year senior. They've gone over 8.5 games in 3 straight years. It really, even if they lose to both UNC and Texas A&M, that still affords them 1 loss in conference. They're going to win at least 9. Lock it up.
I'm with you.
A strong point.
I'm very with you, and I even like the depth. If Bryce was to go down, they added the kid from Texas State. I think they're in a good, McBride is his name. I think they're in a good spot. They got like 30 good running backs every year. I love watching the App State run game. Anyone joining?
No, I'm with App State.
There we go.
It didn't make my list, but it probably should have. So, what? I mean, do we want me to just jump on?
Yes, jump on.
I'll jump on board. Let's have a little fun.
There we go. Where's my song?
There we go.
I need to have this thing. My board is coming too big.
App State, that number is 8.5.
8.5, man. The Mountaineers, baby. Okay, I got to play. I'm going to take a shot. This is a bonus lock. Taking South Alabama over 5.5 wins. Somebody's got to win some games in the Sun Belt West. They all play each other. I feel like they're the most experienced team. Troy's got a brand new coach. South Alabama had a brand new coach last year. They lost a bunch of 1-score games, and I think that the conference got worse with Louisiana losing Napier to Florida and like 30 transfers. Someone's got to win these games in the Sun Belt West. I think they can do it. Give me South Alabama over 5.5 wins. Let's go. Who's coming?
Who's
No,
coming?
no
way. I think you're solo on that one.
Sun Belt West could be pretty wacky this year. I got a better one for you, Colby. Georgia Southern under 4.5.
Oh, I love that one.
They won 3 games a year ago. The Sun Belt East is now much more difficult. And by the way, they're undergoing a radical change in offensive philosophy that takes time to get away from the triple option under Georgia Southern.
I like that. That was on my list, but look, I've given away too
Not
many,
a believer in old Clay Helton?
No. His teams are always penalized. It drives me crazy when he was at USC. It was like, dude, have you focused at all? Have you I mean, they should have won a lot of games last year. I was looking at that. They still had a top 25 offense.
Going 4-8 at USC is like going -2 and like 12 at or -2 and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking. -2 and 75 at Virginia. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Georgia Southern probably going to struggle with the transition.
Yeah.
But I got one that you guys, I cannot believe you're not mentioning it. I cannot believe you're not
going Rich Rod, ULM?
No.
Grayson McCall, if you're the mullet.
Yeah.
They are my number 1 lock.
That was my number one lock too.
Of the whole season. They went 11-1 2 years ago, 11-2 last year. So what, 22-3 over the last 2 years, and they only have to win 8.5 this year.
I'm on the over. I was on the over on the show, but I just don't want to lock it up because they are replacing a lot. But they don't. What's their out of conference schedule? I feel like Army and Virginia are in there. It's a little tricky.
Play out of conference. They have Army, Gardner-Webb, Buffalo, and at Virginia.
There's a chance they could go 2-2. I think they're still going to hit that. I still think they're going to hit that over.
They should go 4-0 in that stretch. Even going to Virginia.
Look, I like McCall. McCall's a beast. They did lose Isaiah Likely. They lost some of the other guys on that team that were really Gallagher, the linebacker.
This team is going
Javion Hiley, the receiver.
Yeah, Hiley was a beast.
Marable, the running back.
They have the most efficient quarterback in the country by a country mile. Coming back for his 3rd straight year, and the schedule's easy. This is the easiest lock of the whole season for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like it. Terrell's on it. Anyone else got any more Sunbelt plays?
This one almost made my list. JMU under 6.5.
You son of a gun.
Especially given the fact they only play 11 games.
I mean, that is That is a good point. I actually thought maybe I would take Marshall, considering that running back just left the team. But anyway, folks, that concludes our locks part of this episode. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. You can find us on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Please, if you can, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. And remember, right around the corner here, if you're watching on YouTube, we are going to do our week 0 picks. But I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. PattyC is on Twitter at PattyC831. NC Nick is on Twitter at NC_NICK. Terrell Furman, shout out to him. Go listen to the NBA Gambling Podcast, the WNBA Gambling Podcast. He's on Twitter at reallyRell__. We are the College Football Experience. Subscribe, tell a friend. Also subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Remember to check us out on YouTube as well. YouTube.com/the College Experience. So hang tight, and we will be right back as we talk week 0. All right, we are back talking week 0 college football. It's finally here. We're 72 hours away from kickoff. We are 72 hours away from kickoff, and here we go. We have a loaded slate. I don't know. I know Terrell. I think you had an internet connection there, but I don't know. Are we ready?
Every time I want to give out my lock, everything just wants to stop. They're telling me not to bet the Chanticleers over 8.5, but I don't care.
Yeah,
Grayson McCall.
Yeah, McCall's a beast.
Easy peasy.
He's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, I actually believe. Man, I was watching that throw today. I posted a throw on the College Experience. Yeah, at TCE on SGPN. What a throw! But here's our point. We're gonna switch over. We're done with our locks, right? We are done with our locks. We're gonna switch over to week 0 preview and picks episode here.
Beautiful.
Folks, we have a lot of games to break down, and by the way, I'm diving deep. So FYI, be prepared for us going through all of the games occurring this weekend in the FCS and FBS. So, without any further ado, let's hop into it. The very first kick of the season is not in Ireland. Surprisingly, it is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And friend of the program, Randy Cross, is going to be on the call. Check it out, CBS Sports. The Governors of Austin Peay are heading over to Bowling Green, Kentucky to take on, we just talked about this team, NC Nick. He's going to look pretty damn good if Western Kentucky can knock off, if Austin Peay can knock off Western Kentucky. The line is 21.5. Western Kentucky is a 21.5 point favorite. Look, Bailey Zappi's a New England Patriot. They lost a couple wideouts to the pros. They lost Mitchell Tinsley to Penn State. They lost their offensive coordinator, Zach Kitley, to Texas Tech. They were returning their tight end before he tore his ACL. He's out for the year. A lot of turnover. The Governors were 6-5 in the FCS last year. They are replacing their own quarterback. They do have an all FCS wide receiver in Dre McCray. They also created the most turnovers in the whole FCS last year. Anyone taking the bait on the 21.5 with the Governors?
I'm tempted now that you're mentioning some of those stats.
Well, look, I think they're going to be penciled in, and I don't know who they're going to start at quarterback. They have a Middle Tennessee transfer in Mike DeLalo, and then they have
He was awful.
Yeah. Well, look, Sheldon Layman, their backup from a season ago, he got some burn. He threw for 345 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception last year. So whoever wins that race is going to be the quarterback, I would assume. The Governors were 6-0 and they scored 30 points or more last year. Like I said, they did lose a ton. New offensive coordinator though for Western Kentucky is Ben Arbuckle, who was with the program last year and then previously was at Houston Baptist with Bailey Zappi and Zach Kitley. What are we doing here? I'm actually going to lay the points. I'm going to lay the points. I think the Hilltoppers will have too much offense because I still think this offense is going to fly. They have this. So Western Kentucky, they went out and got Jared Deggy, the starting quarterback from West Virginia last year. He got beat out in camp by Austin Reed, so Deggy transferred out to Troy. Mm-hmm. Austin Reed is a D2 transfer from West Florida. He won a national championship at West Florida, and word is he's been playing pretty damn good in camp with the Hilltoppers. So with that, I am going to lay the points. They still have a wide receiver in Daywood Davis, who's an Oregon transfer. I look for him and they brought in a couple MAC transfers at the wideout spot. Give me the Hilltoppers laying the 21.5. They're baiting you with that hook. PattyC, what are you doing?
I mean, I'm just curious. Obviously, losing Zappy's big, but Kitley seems like the bigger loss. A huge question mark to lose that kind of coordinator and figure out what you're going to do offensively the next year. I think I'm going to ride with you guys though. Western Kentucky.
It's Rell. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Austin Reed saw basically the same level of competition as at Austin Peay as when he was playing in the D2s and won national championship. You beat out a D1 guys that started games. I think you're pretty good, and this is a good tune-up game for you. I'll go and lay the points.
NC Nick.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, look, I love names that rhyme, and Dre McCray is a really good receiver on the FCS level. But if you're gonna pick an FCS team to cover, you want an experienced quarterback that's been there for a couple years, and the Governors don't have that. The only FBS team they played last year was Ole Miss. They got beat 54-17. I'll go ahead and lay the points.
Well, all right, that is a 9 a.m. kick on the West. That is noon for you guys on the East. Well, at noon:30. We're going to Ireland, right? For this bowl of Lucky Charms here. Pat Fitzgerald. He lost by 49 last year in Lincoln. I was at this game. I don't know why. I thought that was going to be I was traveling cross country, so I thought, let me check it out. Boy, that's
Probably
the worst. That's the worst football
advance.
game I've ever. I mean, it was a great. Nebraska gets up for their game, so that was cool. The energy, but man, that was over after like the first quarter. It's like the only time Nebraska looked good last year. But check us out. Northwestern was 3-9. They lost by 49 in Lincoln. Well, Nebraska was 3-9. So here we are, Dublin, Ireland, of all places. Ryan Helinski is back at quarterback for Northwestern. They also bring back a slew of running backs that did some damage a season ago. The main thing I think is fixing the defense for Northwestern, which Pat Fitzgerald is a former Northwestern linebacker. He had to be going crazy all offseason at how bad that defense was last year. And then you got Nebraska, Scott Frost. If you lose this game, it's going to be a very lonely flight back. That's like a 12-hour flight, right? Mark Whipple, new offensive coordinator. Casey Thompson comes in from Texas. Optimism's high. Scott Frost is talking about like 15 or 20 of his offensive linemen or no, they're barfing 15 or 20 times a practice. Maybe you don't say that into a microphone. Just an idea. Just an idea. PR mess right there.
What was it, DJ Durkin?
Yeah, I mean, geez, just brutal there. What are we doing here, folks? The line is at what, 13? I'm seeing 12.5, 13 out there. Right now, I'm currently seeing it at 13. What are we doing? Because I've been all over the place with this, and I've decided I'm taking Pat Fitzgerald plus 13. I think it's hard to implement a brand new offense that fast. And I know Fitzgerald's going to have this defense playing better. It's Ireland. I saw a bunch of Northwestern fans. They're probably going to have a better Northwestern crowd in Dublin than they do in Evanston. So give me Northwestern plus 13. PattyC, what are you doing?
Can't ignore last year. Can't just ignore last year. As much as they should be wearing green. Patty Fitzgerald should be wearing green, but they got crushed last year by essentially the same squads. Got to go Nebraska.
Ooh, laying the points with Nebraska. Terrell. What are we doing in Dublin?
So, got some insider trade here. Know a guy that knows a guy that knows the defensive back that used to play for Northwestern, and he went on record and say, "Hey, every time we have a mobile quarterback, we get our ass whooped. That is our Achilles heel. We can never stop mobile quarterbacks." It makes sense on why they got their ass whooped by Adrian Martinez last year, because that was sketching my eyes too. That's Adrian Martinez. But all right, now you bring in Thompson. It's a guy that likes to stay in the pocket more. He's athletic, but he doesn't run around and get everything done with his legs. I'm gonna follow the intel, and I think it's a lot to implement that new offense for Scott Frost. I'll take the plus 13.
There we go. NC Nick.
Yeah, look, last year was an aberration. The 3 games before that, Northwestern won 2 of them. The scores were 21-13, 13-10, and 34-31. In the 11 years Nebraska's been in the Big Ten, this game the margin has only been more than 12.5 or 13 twice. So last year, aberration. Not only do we have a new coordinator, new quarterback, the top 2 pass catchers from last year are gone. Whipple was at Pitt for 3 years. His first year there, that offense finished the country 113th in the nation. So it takes a little bit of time. You don't just flip a switch. And look, we mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Nebraska's special teams in the Big Ten last year, 13th in field goal percentage, 12th in punting average, 12th in kickoff return average, and dead last in punt return average. So have they fixed the special teams yet? No. Give me the points.
Ooh, I like it. Great points there. Just firing away.
I was tempted to lock it, but you guys have convinced me otherwise. I'm still riding Nebraska though.
All right. Well, look, 3 hours later at the Death Star in Las Vegas, man, the Idaho State Bengals. Shout out to Merrill Hodge, former running back from Idaho State. It's been on the show. They were horrible last year. I have some great nuggets on this team. Hey, first off, they had a coach. So they have a brand new coach coming in. This is year 1 for him. And they had an assistant that actually caught a murder charge recently. Yes. One of their defensive backs coach caught a murder charge in Arizona. So it's been an odd off season going on there in Pocatello, but they get this, man. They had 9 plays the whole season last year. Only 9 plays over 30 yards or more, right? Now they are bringing in a slew of transfers. They have 51 players on this roster that were not on the team last year, right?
It's incredible.
Yeah. They're returning a quarterback in Hunter Hayes who threw for 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, 7 picks. They do have a all FCS center. They are traveling to UNLV where Marcus Arroyo, man, he lost to a Big Sky team. Look, Idaho State's in the Big Sky. Eastern Washington's in the Big Sky, but they're a really good school in the Big Sky. They lost to Eastern Washington at the Death Star last year, but Arroyo's on the hot seat. He could use a great performance here. He brings in former 5-star recruit Harrison Bailey from Tennessee at quarterback, brings in a transfer running back from Louisville. He still has Mike Williams, who was a really good wideout for them last year. Also brings in Michigan State wide receiver Ricky White. The line, I was a bit surprised at this line, guys. Tell me if you were surprised by this line. Is this fool's gold or something? 23 UNLV minus 23. I get it. UNLV was dog shit last year, but should we just bet our whole bank account on UNLV minus 23?
They were terrible last year, but yeah. I'm riding UNLV.
Yeah, I think we have to take UNLV. They were chippy towards the end of the year, man. I could see Arroyo getting this team playing more physical. Terrell, what are you doing here?
I mean, Idaho State was terrible in the FCS. They weren't just terrible. I mean, UNLV was terrible, but Idaho State was terrible in the FCS. I'm going with UNLV.
Nick, Bengals?
Yeah, I'm right with you guys. No, not the Bengals. No,
I'm trying to talk them into it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, 1-10 and that kind of turnover, and I didn't even know about the coaching, the coach catching those murder charges. So all the more reason to go with the run Rebs.
Only one charge, I believe. I believe it was one charge.
Well, wow, only one murder charge. Oh my gosh!
Give the guy some credit, man. Give the guy some credit. All right, let's continue on. FCS. This is interesting. I don't know if you guys have been following this story, but Rich Rodriguez, the new head football coach at Jacksonville State, they're in the middle next year. I will be having to do a team preview on them because they are joining the FBS next year. They were 5-6 last year, and they did beat Florida State. At Florida State. Shout out to PattyC's boys. But they bring in Rich Rod. This is year 1 for Rich Rodriguez. He has a slew of talented quarterbacks, it seems like. Brings in an NC State transfer. They return the kid from 2 years ago because their starter tore his ACL last year. They are taking on Stephen F. Austin. And Stephen F. Austin, preseason top 25 team in the FCS Now, I will say this. Last year, Jacksonville State did beat Stephen F. Austin, but Stephen F. Austin was much better than their record indicates. Yeah, they made the FCS playoffs. They lost in overtime to Incarnate Word. But the storyline is hilarious. He caught people. So Rich Rod is saying that people were watching. They had spies. He says that Stephen F. Austin sent down spies to Alabama to watch the practices for Jacksonville State to see what quarterback is going to start. And then he said his daughter noticed it. He sent the strength and conditioning guy after them, and they
well, if you're gonna send
away.
Anybody, send that guy. Yeah. If you're gonna send anybody, send that guy.
So look, Zion Webb was a very talented quarterback for Jacksonville State. He missed last year with, I believe it was a torn ACL. He is back, but they also have an NC State transfer in Aaron McLaughlin, and they also have a true freshman in Tayshawn Smoot from Ohio. This is a team that obviously it's Rich Rod. This offense could be really good once he gets it going. At the same time, Austin Peay, 4th-year coach, and Colby Carthel, they had 4 They were 8-4 last year, made the FCS playoffs. All 4 losses by a total of 18 points. They have the top-rated wideout in the FCS, and Xavier Gibson, who had 1,400 yards and 74 catches. They returned their running back Miles Reed, a Hawaii transfer, and their quarterback Trey Self is one of the best quarterbacks in all of college, in all of FCS college football. He threw for 3,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. They also bring back their number 2 and 3 wideouts from a season ago. This line, this is in Montgomery, Alabama. This line, though, I was a bit surprised to see that Rich Rod, I guess because they beat him last year, but Stephen F. Austin just a 2.5 point favorite. I'm on the Lumberjacks to get some revenge because Rich Rod, it takes some time. Doesn't it take him time with that offense? I feel like it just doesn't happen like that. Give me the Lumberjacks. What are you doing here?
I'm with you. I think it just takes time. I mean, even though they hit the over last year, it wasn't because of the offense. It was because of the defense for ULM. So Jacksonville State, even though they beat them last year, I just think it's going to take a little time for that quarterback to get up to speed. Once he does, they'll be dangerous. But I don't know if it's even going to happen in year one.
Yeah. Terrell, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm going with Stephen F. Austin. I think they got a chip on their shoulder losing this game last year, and then seeing the news that, hey, Jacksonville State's moving up to the FBS. Come on, we can beat these guys. You know, we're that quality. I think that, you know, Jacksonville State's going to have a little bit of their target on their back. They're like, you're going to the FBS, really? So yeah, Stephen F. Austin. I'll take him -2.5. I'll actually lock this game up.
Wow,
I like it a lot. I do too. It might be for me too.
Yeah, first lock of the season.
There we go. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
You telling me I can grab a home dog in the FCS kickoff? Give me the Gamecocks, man.
Oh, I guess it's home because it's in Alabama, but it's not. It's a neutral site, but not at their home stadium. It's going with the Gamecocks. Going with the Gamecocks. All right, we got okay. Well, next up, the 2020 national champions, according to the New York Times, the UConn Huskies head out to Maverick Stadium in Logan, Utah. Utah State is laying 27.5 points. Yes, NC Nick, he rode the over on the Aggies, but let me just play this out here. Look, they're talented. We know they're talented. They have a really good quarterback. They got a stud wide receiver. They brought in a slew of transfers. Brought in a kid from Alabama at wide receiver who's going to be nasty. Also a kid from Maryland, right? But they have Alabama on deck. Do they stay vanilla against UConn? And then there's the Jim Mora Jr. angle. Taquan Roberson, 4-star recruit by Penn State. A lot of schools wanted him. Me included. I was shocked that he went to UConn.
One of the most underrated storylines.
I couldn't believe he went to UConn.
Yeah.
So they get a star quarterback. He brought in a receiver from Texas. He brought in some other pieces. An Alabama left tackle.
Star quarterback. His only minutes. So you said star quarterback.
Four-star recruit.
They said star. Oh, you said 4-star earlier. Then you said they bring in a star quarterback. I was like, because the only minutes he played last year was, granted, is a tough situation at Iowa, where he went 7 for 21 for 34 yards and 2 picks.
That's standard for Penn State at Iowa, though, right?
It's a tough situation for a guy to come in, sure, but I mean, I think there's question marks with Robertson right now.
Considering what UConn had last year, I don't think there's any question marks. I think he's way better than any quarterback that's been at UConn for a long time. I'm taking the points. I think Utah State's going to want to keep it vanilla too. I think they're going to try. Look, I looked up last year. Utah State played New Mexico and New Mexico State and a third shitty team that I'm drawing a blank on, and none of them did they win by 27 points. I think the closest was 23. So
you know what's killing me is that last year I agreed with you in week 0. Well, we took about the same amount of points when UConn was playing Fresno, and Fresno
they got their ass whooped
45-0. In fact, I mean, UConn just went 1-11 last year. Their only win was a 6-point nail biter over Yale. Half of their losses were by more than 27 points. They lost by 45 to Fresno, 49 to Purdue, 31 to a very offensively challenged MTSU squad, 37 to Clemson. I mean, you get my point.
I'm sick of you slandering Northeast football, Nick. I'm sick of you slandering my boys.
Very on brand of me to pick Utah State here.
Hey.
But I'll lay the points with the 6th best passing offense from a year ago going up against the 105th pass defense from a year ago.
Jim Mora Jr. is a defensive coach. He's gonna be able to dial up something, and that's something I think you're underrating. He talked about this. He said, "I've never been a 27.5 point dog in my life." He goes, "I played high school, I played college, I played, so dude, the pedigree." Coach Mora.
I certainly don't love this play. I went back and forth, but I sided with taking Utah State.
Terrell, what are you doing here?
I took Fresno last year. I'm taking Utah State this year. I'm sorry. I got to see it to believe it. Give me -27.5.
PattyC?
Huskies, baby, all the way.
There we go. 2020 national champs. There's pedigree. Pedigree, right, baby. Let's go. Give me the points in the Huskies. All right. Well, continuing on this journey of strange football games on a week 0, we get the Wyoming Cowboys heading into Champaign, Illinois. Illinois is laying 11 points. These teams are the same. I get it. Wyoming got destroyed in the portal. Illinois didn't, but they run the same. Like, here's what I can count on: 75,000 handoffs in this game. And I actually think Wyoming, I get it. They got destroyed. Isaiah Nayer's gone. Xavier Valladay's gone. Their DN that transferred in from Bama tore his ACL, is out for the year. Right. However, Peasley that they got from Utah State can sling the ball better than anyone since Josh Allen. So I actually think the offense is going to be a little bit better. Give me Wyoming plus 11. Sprinkle a little bit on that money line. All right. What are we doing here? Pat?
I'm on the Cowboys.
Oh, ride the Cowboy. There we go. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm actually with you guys. When it came down to it, I couldn't lay, I think this is at minus 11 now.
Yeah,
I couldn't lay that many points on an offense that finished 116th in the country last year, led by Tommy DeVito or Arthur Satowski. It was just too much for me. Especially, I mean, it's the over/unders at 44 in this game, very, very small total. So I think it's going to be close. I mean, my fear is that it's a close, sluggish game, and the Fighting Illini finally pull away and win by like 14 or something. But give me the points.
Good points. Terrell?
Yeah, no, I'm taking the points. This is lock number 2 on the season. We're not
laying. There we
go. If there are ever rules or commandments for college football season, thou shalt not lay double digits with Illinois.
Yeah, that offense is trash. All right. I got to get us paid real quick. I want to tell you folks out there that the college football experience is brought to you by WinBet. Yes. Bet $100 at WinBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by Odds Trader. Odds Trader is a place to compare odds from all the major sports books. You can also compare the different sign-up codes and promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to assure that you get the best deal possible. And the app, let me tell you about the app. They got player stats, key game stats, injury reports, projected game day weather for bettors who make the most informed bets possible. It also has a bet tracker. Honestly, guys, maybe it's just me. I have a hard time getting organized sometimes, especially you get me in November and December when there's like you got college football going on, NFL, college basketball, NBA, NHL. You even got the World Cup this year. And then you add on like boxing or UFC or something. You just got.
Are you saying this is too much for you to handle?
Well, no, I can handle it. I just get unorganized. It's like shit. I check my account. And I go, whoa, did I hit this or did I lose this? Why is my funds down or my funds up? But Odds Trader organizes that for you. Go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. Odds Trader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. We're also brought to you by Run Your Pool. Run Your Pool is the home of competition, bringing sports fans and their social circles together to compete, connect, and make every game matter more. And they offer every game you can think of under the sun: Pick'em, Survivor, fantasy pools. And get this, we've teamed up with Run Your Pool with our official SGPN NFL Survivor contest. Hop in now to reserve your spot. We're going to give away, it's free to enter, bozos, so get in. We're giving away $500 cash plus a $250 gift card to the SGPN merch store. Sign up today over at play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. All right, we are back. The slate is heavy. I told you guys to buckle up for this week. All right. And here we are. Next up, the Duquesne Dukes. The Duquesne Dukes are heading to Tallahassee. 35.5 point dogs. folks, Duquesne was 7-3 last year. 7-3. They beat an FBS in the Ohio Bobcats. Just to give you an idea, Jacksonville State was 5-6 in the FCS. They won in Tallahassee. Not saying that's going to be the way things will go down. I'm just saying, interesting there. And Duquesne has been a kind of a blue blood in the NEC. Of late, they've made the NCAA tournament or the NCAA playoffs a couple times, and they've won 5 titles in the last 7 years. There, Running back Billy Lucas averaged over 100 yards rushing the final 4 games of the season. They have 2 capable quarterbacks. Florida State on the other side of things. Obviously, it's a huge year for Mike Norvell. And I do think this. Last year, they got Jacksonville State the game after they got their heart broken with Notre Dame. So Jacksonville State caught them in a great spot. But they did just lose their starting center for the season. They did lose their running back. I think their second string running back for a while. There's been injuries, but this is a huge year for Mike Norvell. I am going to lay the points with the Seminoles.
Wow.
PattyC, what are you doing?
Not what I expected to hear from you.
I actually think Jacksonville State's talent, even though they were 5-6, I think they have more talent on their team than Duquesne.
You mentioned the good Duquesne when they beat Ohio last year. You didn't mention the other game against an FBS opponent where they lost to TCU 45-3. I'll lay the points with you.
I do think that hook is tempting because another thing you got to think about this too. Does Florida State want to stay vanilla? They have LSU on deck.
FSU wins. What do we got here? 48-10.
Give me Duquesne. I've seen Florida State in too many. They beat Samford by 10 a few years back.
ULM almost got them. They missed the extra point in overtime.
Yeah.
Terrell, what are you doing?
I'm gonna roll with PattyC here, and I'm gonna take the points with Duquesne. It's just, I don't know. Maybe they lose it on the hook, but
even the other game against Jacksonville State was only a 17-point win for Florida. They haven't beaten the worst team on their schedule by more than 17 points in 5 years.
That's funny.
All right, moving along. Taking you guys to Georgia. Morehead State is taking on Mercer. Mercer is laying 24 points. I know we probably are thinking, hey, this is on ESPN Plus. All right, it's not going to be that hard to watch this game. I know you're probably wondering, but hey, both these teams were winning teams a season ago. Drew Cronick is the head coach of Mercer.
Drew Cronick.
Yeah, that's his name.
Oh.
And
that's a great name.
7-3 in the SoCon. Their quarterback, NC Nick, you're probably going to know this. Fred Payton, who started at Coastal Carolina when McCall was injured.
Wow,
and get this. Their running back just transferred in from the Chanticleers as well. Running back Fred Jackson comes in. They also have Ty James, a Georgia transfer who played at Mercer last year. This dude averaged 24 yards a catch. So they got some ballers there, but also Morehead State was a 7-4 team a season ago. They are losing their starting quarterback, Mark Pappas. He's playing professional football in Sweden. Shout out to him. They have a redshirt sophomore quarterback, Grady Kramer, that's going to start. He's appeared in 10 games in his career. He's 14 of 26, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. They are also replacing their running back and their best receiver, BJ Bird, who was an FCS All-American a season ago, and their the Pioneer Defensive Player of the Year last year, Von Taylor Jr. is gone as well. I'm going to lay the points with Mercer in the SoCon. PattyC, what are you doing?
I mean, I'm grasping at straws here. I don't think I am going to lay the point. The spread is what now? 24?
24.
Give me Morehead.
All right. Terrell, what are you doing here?
Nah, I like the Chanticleer connection. Give me 24.
Yeah, lay the 24.
Yeah.
NC Nick?
When in doubt, this goes back to when the spring, when FCS was playing in the spring, take the points. Give me Morehead.
There you go. Okay, next up, Conference USA special. This is a division game. This is probably one of the bigger games of the season. Charlotte is heading into Boca Raton, where they're actually 2-1 in their history in Boca Raton, but they're 2-5 overall playing Florida Atlantic. So they head into Boca Raton. Florida Atlantic's a 7.5 point favorite. What are we doing here, folks? PattyC?
I think the hook got me. I'm going Charlotte.
I'm going Charlotte too, because I think the fact they get them a week 1, they've had struggles with them lately.
Yeah.
But it's normally in like October, November. The fact you get the whole season to put in this, you got a super senior quarterback in Chris Reynolds. I don't feel great, but I think that hook, and I know they're trying to bait me with that. Give me Charlotte.
I went back and forth, but the hook got me.
Terrell, what are you doing here?
Minor 49er taking Charlotte.
There we go. NC Nick, are you staying true to NC?
Yes, we're all on the same page here. This game has been kind of, I don't know. I didn't love this game because FAU has won 3 in a row in the series, beat Charlotte 38-9 last year where they ran for 200 plus. But yeah, I mean, come on. the Clits do have a big offense, so I expect them to at least, stay close with them.
They'll be spraying it all over the place.
There you go. All right. I mean, that game's actually one of the better games of the day because of the conference implications, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next up, I'm going to take you to Howard taking on Alabama State. I don't know if you guys know this, but Eddie Robinson Jr. is the head coach of Alabama State, and I really like what he did in the transfer portal. They have one of the better transfer portal gets now. Howard wasn't great last year. I think they were 3-8, if memory serves me correct. This is an interesting matchup. I was a bit surprised at the line here. We have Alabama State -6. To give you an idea, folks, of what I'm talking about, Alabama State has Ryan Nettles. Alabama State lost Ryan Nettles. Demetrius Davis is coming in. He's an Auburn transfer at quarterback, right? They also have Ezra Gray in the backfield, and Levante Chenault, who's Laviska Chenault's brother, who I know well from Colorado. He can play. He transfers in. They also have a pretty good defense. They really won the transfer portal. But then Howard, Larry Scott, he was 2-8 last year. So not 3-8, 2-8. He played under Jim Leavitt at South Florida back in the late 90s. He was an interim coach at Miami. That was his first year at Howard last year, 2-8. So he's building that thing. I'm still all over Alabama State here. What are you doing, PattyC?
I mean, my lean is Alabama State for sure. I don't honestly know a ton about these. I know that Howard has struggled in the times that I've seen them. So my temptation is to lean Alabama State.
Terrell?
Yeah, no, I'm going Howard. Give me Howard and sprinkle on the money line for Howard as well. When you got to remember with these MEAC SWAC challenges, the SWAC plays no defense. The MEAC is all about defense. The SWAC plays no defense, and I think defense wins these games. Plus, they have a senior quarterback at Howard in Quentin Williams, and he's leading the second best passing offense from the MEAC from last year. I think that the line is absolutely wrong. I think this is wrong team favorite, and he's bringing it back his top wideout in Antoine Murray to help that passing offense. Yeah, give me the Howard Bison +6, sprinkle on the money line.
Oh, +200 on the money line.
And I think you've just convinced me to switch.
Well, I mean, look, he brings up a good point though on the fact Eddie Robinson Jr. He obviously played in the league, but he hasn't had this great coaching record. Obviously, besides his dad being one of the most legendary coaches ever, but. So there is, I would imagine, some jitters there. He's never really had anything in his track record that says, he's worthy of being a head football coach to be favored by 6 in his first game of his career. So I get that point. I just think that transfer portal, I went through the transfer portal and I was like, damn, they got some guys. So I laid the 6. Let's see, Nick, what are you doing?
Look, I mean, famous Howard quarterback Jay Walker is now in the Maryland House of Delegates. His his eligibility is long expired, so I'll ride with you, Dundee, and go Alabama State.
Jay Walker was a beast. I remember we got to grow up with some of those games. All right, Florida A&M heads to Chapel Hill. This game 35.5. It's like Vegas. It's the same as the Duquesne line. I'm sorry, 35.5. Man, Florida State. I went with Florida State there as a favorite. Now Florida A&M, they're not that bad. They got you might be familiar. AJ Davis, running back from Pitt, transferred in. Destin Coates, the running back from Georgia State, transfers in. Jeremy Musa, who was just named the starting quarterback today from Vanderbilt, and they had a really experienced quarterback last year, so they got some depth at the quarterback spot. The question is, what North Carolina team are we going to see? And once again, are they going to keep it vanilla, knowing that they got to go to Boone? I'm on Florida A&M and the points. What are you doing, PattyC?
I was on Florida A&M, but I just thought about it. Josh Downs, all you have to do is throw the ball to him, and he's gone. I think we're going to see a lot of that. That North Carolina offense has been explosive for a while. I think that'll continue. Give me the Tar Heels.
Keep an eye out on BJ Bowler, corner for Florida A&M. He's going to lock him down. Let's go.
Wow.
NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Look, I'm on a podcast with Terrell Furman, and I get a chance to pick against the Tar Heels. You know I will. Give me Florida A&M all day long.
There you go. Terrell? Do I even have to ask?
He thought I was gonna back the Tar Heels, but this is football season. So, and look at this angle. They are doing HBCU night at UNC for this game, and Florida A&M's band's going to be there. They're going to perform. They're doing this whole thing. They're not going to kill these guys on HBCU night. Why would you? You can't do that. You can't kill them on HBCU night.
Good point.
So
Don't want to embarrass.
give me Florida A&M in the points.
There we go.
Now you guys are making me switch back on that one. I'm all wishy-washy here.
Where the fuck is my dude? This soundboard's getting too big these days, man. I have like 300.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
All right, look, we got a few more games and we're gonna get out of here. I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper's the fastest growing fantasy platform today with millions of players. You probably already have a fantasy league on there. I know I do. They just passed 4 million different users. Yes, and with the NFL season right around the corner, Sleeper is the first sports contest game built into the fantasy experience. So right now on your mobile phone, join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/SGP. That is sleeper.com/SGP. And Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. We're also brought to you by Trade Coffee. Trade Coffee connects customers to the freshest and best tasting coffee they've ever made at home by partnering with the country's best craft roasters. And this thing is expert tasted. Trade has a coffee team that actually taste tests thousands of coffees, and they keep over 450 different kinds of coffee live and ready to ship out to you every single day. There is no one perfect coffee, but there is a perfect coffee for you. And let Trade's human-powered algorithm find it for you. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order, plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/SGP. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started today by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by Babbel. For most of us, learning a second language in high school or college wasn't exactly a high point of our academic career. Well, now thanks to Babbel, the language learning app that's sold more than 10 million subscriptions, there's an easy way, a fun and easy way to learn a new language. Whether you're traveling abroad or connecting in a deeper way with family, or maybe you just want to become a smarter human being and learn a language, Babbel's 15-minute lesson will make it perfect. It's the perfect way for you to learn a new language on the go. Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel's was created by 100 different language experts. Their teaching methods have been scientifically proven to be effective. So what are you doing, bozos, right? They have 14 different languages you can learn: Spanish, French, Italian, German, right? So right now, save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/SGP. That's babbel.com/SGP for up to 60% off your subscription. All right. No, actually, I have one more. I'm sorry. We're also brought to you by Elias. Yes, it's the start of the NFL season. I love this time of year, and that's why I highly recommend the Elias Game Plan app. If you don't know Elias, people, you need to, because it's the only sports app from the most trusted name in sports, the Elias Sports Bureau. Yes, the official statisticians of U.S. pro sports leagues, the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL. So check it out. I mean, their app has player news, league validated player stats, team records, expert game analysis for betting. They can help you build your fantasy team. It's absolutely fantastic. So take my advice, download the Elias Game Plan app today. With NFL season right around the corner, don't wait. Find Elias Game Plan in the App Store or Google Play Store today and let it ride. All right, we are back talking final action here. Final games. I know UTEP in the Sun Bowl is hosting North Texas. This game is at a pick now. This line has moved all around in the past couple weeks. Both these teams were bowling in the CUSA a year ago. The total is at 55. I've had a really hard time forecasting this game. Austin Une is back for North Texas at quarterback. UTEP's Gavin Hardison is back at quarterback. They did lose Jacob Cowing. I'm going to take North Texas on the road. I just feel like their team is a little bit better, but I do not have a good feel on this one. PattyC, what are you doing?
My lean based on last year was UTEP, but I guess when I look at it more closely, they won 6 of their first 7. They lost 5 of their last 6. So UTEP trending very much in the wrong direction, and I think Seth Luttrell will get it going. So I'm going to go North Texas. North Texas. There we go. Terrell, out in the desert in El Paso. What are you doing?
I have no idea what's going on with this game. I mean, I feel like this probably is the best game in the slate just because these two teams are probably the most evenly matched for a week 0 game.
Yeah.
Give me a slight lean towards North Texas, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. NC Nick, what are you doing here in El Paso?
I actually feel pretty good about North Texas. Patty mentioned UTEP lost 5 of their last 6 last year. Well, North Texas won their last 5 regular season games, including beating UTSA pretty handily, 45-23. For the Mean Green, it's all about the running game. Number 5 in the nation last year, and 4 of 5 O-linemen return. Probably the best O-line in the Conference USA. I think that running game gets cranking early against UTEP.
Nice.
You just convinced me to throw my first lock of the season down. North Texas.
It's easy to see a tide turn. All right. Next up is my Sling game of week 1. Yes, it's college football season, which means you need the unbeatable coverage of Sling TV starting at $35 a month. Sling has all the big games on the biggest channels like ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, SEC Network, ACC Network, Fox, and the Big Ten Network, all for the best price. You can stream it on any device, record up to 50 hours in included DVR space, and you can pause and change your service at any time. Check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the live TV you love for a price you'll love. Try us today. This is my lock here. Nevada, PattyC's boys are traveling down to Las Cruces. I just locked up New Mexico State on the win total. They're getting 9 points right now in Las Cruces. I'm locking up New Mexico State +9. I'm taking the +280 on the money line. Let's roll with the Aggies. PattyC, what are you doing here?
Did you lock Nevada on the under 2 on our picks total?
I did.
So
this is a huge game for me.
Yeah. 9 does seem like a lot, but I'm just trusting that the wheels aren't going to fall completely off. I'm going Wolfpack.
You're laying the 9.
Laying the 9.
Wow, I can't wait. I can't wait for Saturday. Terrell, what are you doing?
No, man, it's too much turnover for the Wolfpack, man. It's way too much turnover on the road, starting the season. You're still trying to figure things out. It's week 0, and it's New Mexico State. That's a very, very easy team to overlook. I'll take New Mexico State +9, and yeah, they might be in a chance to win this.
There we go. And I saw their ticket sales. This place is gonna be sold out, I think.
We lit.
NC Nick, what are you doing here in Las Cruces?
Yeah, New Mexico State all day. Lock it up.
Money line?
Why not? Why not? It's late. It's late. I'm getting tired over here. I'm fading. Sure.
You guys are Nevada haters, and I'm gonna laugh.
Terrell, money line?
Yeah, sure.
There we go. There we go. All right, and then the final game. It's on the island. Vanderbilt at Hawaii. Clark Lee. He only won 2 games last year by a combined 5 points, and they had a 20-point loss at home to an FCS team.
This is
however, they are traveling way across the world to Hawaii to take on Timmy Chang. Look, you could say Timmy Chang might not have been qualified because he has been barely coaching in his career, but he is a legend on that island. He is a legend in college football. The way he slung the rock around for old June Jones. The line has been all over the place. It's going up to 9 now. I'm seeing it right now as Vanderbilt -9.
No way. Come on, people. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
This line was at like 2 before.
When has Vanderbilt ever beat anybody by over 10 points at this point? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. No.
I will say there's an 8 out there too. So,
hey, throw a lockdown, throw a money line down, and give me that music.
Which for this?
Why?
You're talking. Oh, you're right.
Oh, baby. Come on. That's a lock right there. It's not going to be paradise for Clark Lee.
Oh man, dude. Look, here's my question today in the office was, so me, Ryan, and Sean were sitting there saying we all have Vanderbilt bets, but the line keeps growing, and I'm like, I'm getting scared now. I'm getting scared because of all the action coming in on Vanderbilt.
Because y'all on the public, that's why.
Deeply on the public, and I'm like, man. NC Nick, what do you think about this matchup?
I'm not getting scared. Give me Vandy. Hawaii, I mean, they're just going to be a total dumpster fire this year. You said it yourself, they might be one of the worst teams in all FBS, only bringing back, 4 starters on offense, 2 on defense. I like Mike Wright. I think he's a decent quarterback, recently named the starter. I'll take Vandy up to 10.
I've never heard more confidence in Vandy than here.
I'm just dumb. They're going all the way to Hawaii.
Not as bad week 0 to go there. I mean, if it's in the middle of the season, it's a little bit tougher travel. But for week 0, you get there plenty of time. You're not jet lagged.
11-1 ATS in season openers. Last 12 for Hawaii. I'm back in Hawaii here. Give me on the money line. I'm not laying almost double digits with Vanderbilt. And I am firmly confident in saying that this could very well be Hawaii's only win of the season.
I already placed the bet on Vandy, but I am getting concerned the more and more people that are hopping like that. That line has, I mean, this was like this opened at like 3 or 2.5 or something. It has jumped way up over the course of a month. I think
it was 7, but okay.
Yeah, was it?
I saw that 6 for the longest time, and just recently it jumped up big time.
I thought it when the lines first came out. I thought it was at like 2.5.
What basis? Yeah. What does Vanderbilt have going for it that's inspiring this confidence?
Well, a very large wager was probably placed, and that's what bumped it up.
Yeah,
on that basis.
I'm on. Look, all right. Well, let's go through our lock. What is our lock? My lock is New Mexico State. PattyC, what are you doing lock wise?
I had North Texas and Hawaii.
Terrell?
I have Wyoming and Stephen F. Austin.
I kind of like that Stephen F. Austin angle.
Yeah,
I'm also going to lock up UNLV -23. Fuck that. They have 60 players. What did I say? 60 players or 53 players or something that weren't on the team last year. UNLV is got a 5-star quarterback in Harrison Bailey coming in. They're going to fuck up the Bengals of Idaho State. I'm going to lock up UNLV -23 against Idaho State. Nick?
Northwestern and New Mexico State.
All right, there we go. Anyone?
Too.
Okay. Anyone? Any crazy parlay or anything? Anyone before we get out of here?
Yeah. I give you a parlay.
Okay.
Let's go with the under in the Nebraska Northwestern game. I got it at 50.5. It's down to 49.5.
Okay.
So positive movement there. I'll take the under there. Let's go with Wyoming in the points +12, and then let's take Hawaii on the money line. Let's take Hawaii on the money line. I really think that this is Hawaii's sole win of the season. Now, if you don't want to get crazy with me at the end, I understand. You could take a 2-team parlay, but take Hawaii on the money line. That's going to pay you about 12-1.
I like it. I like a parlay of New Mexico State on the money line with Wyoming +11 and UNLV -23 against the Bengals of Idaho State. Folks, anyone else? Nick, Pat, you good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Content? All right. Folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We do this each and every week. We handicap every single Division I college football and college basketball game. We've been doing this shit for years. So please subscribe, tell a friend. Also remember, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. And we're on YouTube together as the College Experience, youtube.com/the College Experience. Please give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. PattyC is on Twitter at PattyC831. Terrell Furman Jr. hosts the NBA Gambling Podcast and the WNBA Gambling Podcast. Subscribe to those and give him a follow on Twitter at ReallyRel__. And don't forget NC Nick, Sunbelt Funbelt God. Give him a follow on Twitter at NC_NICK. We are the College Football Experience, folks. Check us out. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Hop in the Discord channel. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Can't wait for the season to kick off Saturday night. We're going to have a reaction show for you. This is the College Football Experience. Week 0 picks. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
What the fuck did I do wrong? Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Well, I don't get the head cold, but they're counting down 7-6-5.
Get my limousine, ride on 85. Get my Learjet, woo, and take off to New Orleans. You got it, New Orleans. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
Coaching, our coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in the second half. It sucked.